All right, baby, fire it up. Kevin, where you at? Kevin, Cornell, Kevin.
I'm here.
Oh, I know he's here. I know he's here, baby. Let's go. Let's go, folks. Fire it up. NCAA championship recap time is here. Oh, we got so much to talk about. So much to talk about. Cornell Kevin is here with us right now. Live. Congratulations to all the champions. Here are all the national champions. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to all of them and all the All-Americans. Quite an achievement. I saw a stat earlier today, Kevin, about the odds, 1 in like 25,000 if you make the blood round, or your odds to become an All-American. Congratulations, all the champions, all the All-Americans. This is BEG Wrestling, baby. We are here. We are live. Championship recap. Join the comments. I see Larry in the comments. Larry, I got him. I got him, Kevin. I told you I was going to get him. I got him, baby. In the biggest game of the year. That's right, on Madness. Got Larry. Larry Steele. And he said he might have to call in. Hot dog. Hot dog. But, all right, folks, yes, sir, we're here. We're live. Cornell Kevin is here. We're live. We got a lot to go through. All the weight class breakdowns, obviously, clearly, Cornell Kevin has a ton of Hodge stats. That's the next thing on the list, right? He has all the history, all the stats, all the breakdown, everything you could ever imagine for your Hodge vote, if you have a Hodge vote. And team points, everything. We're here to talk about it. Man, has there ever been a tournament? I'll open it with this, Kevin. Has there ever been a tournament? Could you imagine a team setting a record number of points? Penn State did it this year, and yet they walk away. I feel like not a lot of Penn State fans are very happy right now. And I feel like you read the writing on the wall. It is crazy. You read the writing on the wall. I'm reading it, Kevin. Let me show you. Because this is what's coming.
Oh,
the
no.
Cowboys.
Oh, no.
Giddy up, folks. Oh, my goodness. The Cowboys are coming. The writing is on the wall, Kevin. Like,
they are coming.
True freshmen national champions. Now, can they do that again? We'll talk about it, but we'll break everything down. But, hey, Kevin, how you feeling, man? I know we touched base Saturday night. You were not feeling great. Likely not still feeling great. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm glad we did the show a couple days later, you know. I was just in a horrible mood for obvious reasons. It was like the biggest letdown I've ever had in NCAAs. It was just horrible. But
the biggest letdown you've ever had. Yeah, and give us the
in
stats,
NCAAs.
Yeah, at NCAAs for Cornell. And frankly, the entire season, if you really break it down, you didn't even win the conference championship.
No, we won the conference tournament, but not even the Ivy League, man. It's just horrible, man. It's let's put it this way. Since 2003, Cornell has had 3+ All-Americans every single year, except for this year. They've been in the top 10 every single year, except for 1 year they finished 12th. Not this year. They've finished above 50 points every single year. Not this year. And not even near it. Behind Columbia.
Behind Columbia. Very.
It just horrendous, Zach. Horrendous. Not good.
Well, we did touch on it Saturday night. It was kind of looking that way, and they did pull out one All-American. And I put up the most team NCAA points because that's how you feel as a Cornell team fan. And here, before we get down and break everything down, we're going to talk about the overall, the macro. It's team points. Penn State sets a record. Okay, they only lose Levi Haynes, but yet somehow, if you're a Penn State fan, you walk away from this, and you got a little bit of a sick feeling in your stomach right now. David Taylor. I mean, you saw him in some of them ESPN Zoom ups. That boy was brinking on a smile. He was holding back a smile after, and deservedly so. What Oklahoma State did, what David Taylor has done, 3 true freshmen national champions. And let me remind you, folks, it's David Taylor's first recruiting class at Oklahoma State. And let me remind you, he's got the Rainey Bros coming in, right? He's got absolute dogs coming in next year as well. And, Penn State, you're happy. If I'm a Penn State fan, I'm happy with this. Like, you definitely wanted at least 5 champs. You didn't get that. We'll talk about those. Like, Van Ness, what happened there, and so on. PJ Duke, what happened there. But really, it is crazy because you're a little bit disappointed. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, Kevin, I want to say, all year I've been dogging Tom Brands. I've been dogging Iowa. And they went into this tournament and straight up overperformed. So I have to, hats off Tom Brands, the Brands Bros, and everyone out there in Iowa, because they came in here and delivered. All of them. I mean, there was a couple guys that didn't AA that should have AA'd. But numerous other ones that did AA. Gabe Arnold is, quite frankly, got to be our dog of the year. Gabe Arnold, what he has done. But not only him, Ryder Block. Nebraska does get third, but your team takeaway, is Penn State, do they have a chance to surpass this next year, Kevin, in your opinion, or is this the peak?
Yeah, I think they do. Here's the thing, Zach, is you would think they wouldn't when you see like Oklahoma State coming up and you figure Iowa will be in the mix next year and Nebraska and Ohio State. But the thing is when I looked at the scores this year, there seems to be a big gap. Like the gap is getting big between the teams that, are not doing so well. And then you got like that group of teams at the top. So because even though there's more teams scoring more points, a third place team scoring 100 points, it doesn't matter because the teams at the bottom are scoring so few points that it kind of works itself out, which is not necessarily a good thing. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see them. This is the 3rd year in a row that they've broken the record.
Okay, so you do think there's a chance they could even surpass this year? I mean, they scored a ton of bonus, like over 40 bonus points.
Yeah.
However, you do mention we're seeing a change in evolution in the sport where it's becoming more top heavy. Now, you can make the case that's good for the sport. You can make the case that's bad for the sport. Overall, I mean, I think before really digging into it, I think I like that. But Kevin, do you like the trend on where that's going?
No, I mean, it's crazy. When you look back in the 80s and the 90s, you look at like the team scores and you go down and look at all the different colleges, right? And it's wild. Like it's just it's cool looking at all these different teams scoring points, and you want more variety, more teams, more, participation. Like you don't want 5 teams to just dominate. But, you know what? Overall, the product's still a good product for sure. It's just, it seems to be tending that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, it was an incredible weekend. It's just incredible to me how quickly it all passes us. But there were other team points here. Kevin, this other graphic, most 4th place NCAA team points. You want to touch on this before we move on?
Yeah. So, this and the last graphic, the last graphic was the most, not only the most team points, but the most second place. Because a lot of people thought that Oklahoma State had the most points for a runner-up last year or this year, but it was actually Ohio State back in 2018 at 134, which is crazy. And then the 3rd place points, crazy when I'm looking this stuff up, 115 points is what Oklahoma State had in 2001, and they got 3rd with 115. Wow. And then I noticed Cornell in 2012 had over 100 points and they're 4th. Just crazy, and then and I'm going through, I see different ones where a team didn't even score 100 and they won NCAAs without even scoring 100. So it was wild, when I was going through this. They did change the scoring. In 1995 and 97, they doubled the bonus points, right? So a pin was worth 2 instead of 1. Major was worth 1 instead of a half. And then in 2001, they changed the placement points. So if you were in 6th place, you got 6 points instead of 3. So that makes a pretty big, significant, change in there. So I actually went through and I calculated all the teams in the 80s and the 90s, what their points would be with this formula. Now, just to be clear, I'm not doing anything but if a guy got sixth, I'm giving him today's points for sixth place instead of the points he had. So, it's nothing. I'm not doing anything other than that. And also, I'm just doubling the bonus points. And it was pretty interesting to see where, looking at those teams from Iowa and looking at the teams from Penn State and where they blend together. I think I sent you something, a block. I'm not sure if you still have it. It's just black. It's got
What, this one?
yes.
Right
Yep.
here.
So that right there is with all the conversions, right? So you see that Penn State still is the top team. That 83 Iowa team, when you convert the placement points and the bonus points, they're at 178. But do you see, look at that mix right there. It's just like crazy how dominant these teams were. And again, this is
So
just
this
using
is
the
if you
same points that we're
translate-
using.
If you translate all the points from the past equally to how they're translated now, this is what you were really looking at. And Penn State this year is the actual top team. Now, interesting comment by Dustin. If the Duke call stays and Duke wins the title, Penn State's at like 192.5. I think Penn State fans would have been a little more satisfied. I think that was really the gut-wrenching one if you're a Penn State fan.
Zach, are they ever satisfied though? Will they be satisfied unless they have 10 champs?
Well, when you've achieved the level of success that Penn State has, it almost is difficult to be happy. But I think a 190 spot plus and Duke is a champion. I counted Duke as a champ. That
was not a good call.
Duke got robbed, but
Yeah.
Robideau, all credit to him for, just putting himself in position. You know what I mean? Like, give yourself a chance and never quit. I do give Robideau credit for that match, but in hindsight, Duke got absolutely robbed.
Yeah, because, the thing that sucks, and I'm not going to, overkill something that's already been spoken about too much, but you stop the match and you can't go back to that. If Duke wasn't going to get it then, I think he would have, gotten it on the next turnover, you know what I mean? But instead, they stop it. Right, they stop it, and then you can't go back to that. And that's happened a bunch before, and there's no real good solution to that except for the official calls the points, holds up the takedown points, and he just lets them keep going while he's got the takedown points up. I don't know how else you would, fix that where you're, But then if the opponent sees the 3 points sticking up, he's probably going to stop wrestling. So it's just it's something you can't really fix. It's tough. We just got to get all on the same page on what a takedown is and what a takedown isn't.
Well, completely agree on that. But if I was that referee and you clearly saw Duke working, even improving his position as he blew that whistle, then it goes dude, you have to almost give it to him. I don't know. Even when the officials but Duke was working and progressing there. I don't know. To me, that was tough.
That's tough. And I don't want to take anything. I think Duke got screwed, but I also want to say that Robideau, he lost to Duke 3 times this past summer in freestyle. He lost to him at the U.S. Open. He lost to him at the U20 World Team Trials in straight matches. And it wasn't like blowouts, but it wasn't necessarily close. You know what I mean? Like one of them was 7-0, one was 9-4.
Hats off to Robideau, because you know what? He put himself in that position, never quit, and then goes on to beat Taylor and prove that he ain't no fluke. Robideau ain't a fluke. That was no fluke. And you know what? If you're PJ Duke, you can complain all you want. It's a takedown, that's not. But you know what? You had 6 minutes plus, to get a takedown before then and make that match not come down to that.
And did you hear PJ Duke's interview afterwards, man? The kid's classy. He didn't say anything about anything, No, that's just the way he is. He's not gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna. But yeah, Robideau also
saw some other
Larkin,
people maybe not take the losses so well. Some other people didn't take the losses so well. But we got to move on. We got a lot to talk about here. Freshman NCAA champions. Look at this stat, because this was a storyline, Kevin. The freshman champs.
Yeah.
It's the youth movement, folks, of wrestling They're taking over the sport. Tell us about this.
The list got a heck of a lot bigger, Zach. 4 new freshmen thrown on that list. There was 36, and now there's 40. And most importantly, you see the yellow highlights. Those are the undefeated guys, right? If there's a red line in it, means they're a red shirt. So, you can obviously see, I know that on ESPN, they use the stat that we've been going over for a couple of weeks now about the undefeated freshmen, first time since 1947. And so those 4 freshmen that were undefeated, 2 of them were 23 years old because they fought in World War II, and then they went to college afterwards. So one was 18, one was 19, 2 of them were 23. But Zach, I mean, it's unheard of what happened. Not only that, but to have 2 true freshmen win a title, that's only happened in 2018 when Yanni and Spencer Lee won titles. And then in 1947. And then they had 3, and they were on the same team this year. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost hard to fathom, like, the magnitude of that's what I mean. Like, you're not, you get a pit in your stomach if you're a Penn State fan and David Taylor in Oklahoma State, I mean, them Stilly boys have got to be walking away from this feeling so good. That doesn't even count Lockett, who didn't even AA.
David Taylor, dude, think about what he's done in 2 years. He had Wyatt Hendrickson take down King Kong, right?
Yeah.
And then he had Dean Hamidi win a bracket with Keegan O'Toole and Levi Haynes, right? And he didn't AA the year before. Both of those guys did something that's only been done 6 times in the history of the sport. They beat 2 already NCAA champs on their way to a title. Wyatt beat Kirkfleet and then Gable, and then Hamidi beat Levi and then Keegan O'Toole. So that was insane. Then this year he does it with the young guys. He takes these true freshmen and he has one of them beat 2-time NCAA champ Jesse Mendez, who a lot of people had as their Hodge favorite. And then he has Rabidou win Rabidou and Jax win 2 of the toughest weights. 157, 133 were continuously said to be like the toughest weight classes this year. And they both win it. Nuts.
Well, can I ask you this question? During this offseason at Penn State, in that practice room, wrestling room, locker room, do you think maybe they might make a couple changes for the first time in maybe 15 years at Penn State? I think they might start making a couple. You don't think they will? You're going to say, I see you shaking your head, Kevin, but I'm telling you right now.
No.
If they don't, they're in big trouble.
I think they have, Zach. I think that, tell me that, is Cal ever been as open as he has been this year? He's been doing interviews every week. He seems to be kind of, but I mean, I don't know if you want to say that's a big change or not, but when you're on top and you're breaking the team record every year, you really don't need to change much yet.
You
right?
could say that for this year too, but yeah.
David Taylor has the best recruiting tool in the world, and that was called the NCAA tournament the past 2 years. Because, you think Sergio Vega's really kicking himself in the butt about not being a gray shirt this year at Cornell with no NIL money, or do you think maybe he thinks he made the right decision? Or Rabidou going from Minnesota over to Oklahoma State, do you think he's really regretting that move?
Not only go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zach. He's shown it both years that he can do it with the young guys and the older guys. That's all I was going to say. And it's crazy.
Not only does he have the biggest tool in his pocket, he can coach the older guys, the younger guys. Dude, I'm sorry to say this, but the fact that Stilly Boys, the YouTube, I mean, now you could be a YouTube star too. You can go win a championship, get the best training in the world, and have it all on YouTube. Penn State don't have that. That's what I'm saying. All right, we got to move on, though. We got to move on.
It does look fun. They make it look fun in that Stilly Boys, right? They make it look fun.
That's what I'm saying.
Kicking back, and kids are like, man, I want to be a part of that, and they're winning.
Don't be surprised you see Penn State come out with some, I don't know, Lion Boys or something, whatever you want to call it. But
I think I might be surprised.
All right, here's the next question on the docket here. The Hodge, who's going to be the Hodge here? And I'm going to put up your official end of season Hodge rankings here, Kevin, along with, I guess, your top 4 and kind of their stat breakdowns. And after that, we'll look at some all-time stats. Go ahead.
So I've been keeping track of, for a lot of you guys know this, I've been keeping track of this all year long. I've actually been sending this email. I've been talking to the guy at Win Magazine, actually, and sending him this graph every week. He's been having me send him this graph, and they've been doing their stats off of that too, which is kind of cool. And, I think that it was made easy for us, right? I think that Josh Barr not getting 100% bonus, Jesse Mendez losing, it kind of is all falling into place for Mitchell Messenbrink. Jax Forrest, say what you want about his match count, but if you do recall, in 2022, won Gable Steveson, won the Hodge Trophy, 18-0, and he wrestled the full season. His bonus was not as high as Jax's. No, actually, I take that back. I'm sorry, because he lost that one. It was about the same. So it's not that he's got too few matches, but the way I look at it is Mitchell teched his guy in the finals. He teched a returning NCAA finalist in the finals, and his one non-bonus was a 6-0 win. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are saying, well, look at the quality of the weight classes. You got 165, which had, no disrespect to Alvin from Columbia. We'll get into him later. He got 3rd place at that weight. And then you got 133, which was just bonkers, right? With, Bendavino, Marcus Blaze, Seidel, Larkin, granted all freshmen, but still really tough weight. The two NCAA finalists from last year, where'd they finish, Yeah. Pretty far down the podium. So there's a lot of that. So, I think that, I was looking at Levi Haynes' way to a title. He had that 2-1 win isn't going to help on a stall call, but he had tech pin or something like that. And he had pinned and teched his way to the finals. It's crazy. A lot of good choices this year. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Sergio Vega, he knocked off Mendez and da-da. I'll tell you what, man, there's a couple reasons why Sergio Vega will not win. One, I'd be shocked if they gave it to a freshman. It's never been done before. Even Cal didn't win this as a freshman, and Cal won the MOW as a freshman. 2, Vega's bonus percentage is below 50%, which would make him the lowest bonus percentage of any winner by a significant amount, by about 20 points. The lowest is about 70%, the lowest a Hodge winner's ever won with bonus rate. So bonus is important in the Hodge. It's the second criteria, dominance, parentheses, bonus rate. And I think that's, going to be a little too much for him to overtake is, he knocked off because a lot of people are comparing it to Wyatt. Well, Wyatt beat Gable. Well, Wyatt had an 80% bonus. He didn't have a 47% bonus. So I think it's a big difference. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so if you had one vote, Kevin, who's your vote go to?
Mitchell Messenbrink. He's got 11. Everyone gave him crap last year because he didn't have a lot of pins. He had 8 pins this year. So he's got the most pins of all the undefeated guys. He's got 11 tech falls. He's got 6 majors. He's got the highest dominance rating. He averages a tech fall a match. He's got a 5.04 dominance, which means he averages over a tech fall a match. And his average match time is at 4.5 minutes. The only one better than him was Jax, about 40 seconds quicker. He's got 17 quality wins, which is good. And yeah, he pretty much dominated everyone. I just don't see, I think 197 was a very weak weight class, and I think it was much weaker than 165.
Well, weakness is, debatable, but I think you could make the case Barr had this locked up if he bonuses in the finals. Can we agree on that?
Maybe. You would think so, because like we talked about, Zach, it's only ever been done one time ever, Gable's junior year. Only one ever to have 100% bonus.
He would have had.
What's that? You would
Barr
think.
would have to be the Hodge if he bonused in the finals. However, he did not. Opens the door, and really the case could be made for Messenbrink, Barr, Forrest, or Levi. Levi kind of seems like the odd one out, unfortunately, but,
Yeah, he's the only one with the 80% bonus, and he's got a high dominance rating. Now, here's the thing, Zach. We can talk about who we would vote for, but look at the history of the Hodge Trophy, right? Because I try and get inside, what do voters what have they been voting for in the past?
Here it is.
And bonus percentage just about trumps it, man.
Well, there's your all-time
bonus
stats.
Percentage.
Yep. Here's your all-time
And they just,
graph.
they've been, it's bonus percentage is usually the big thing that's what everybody gets it on.
Well, here's your pass with
that's
90%. Kale,
Yep.
Ben Askren, David Taylor, Zane, Bo, Spencer, Aaron Brooks. Those are your past.
And those are the only Hodge winners, by the way, guys, that have 90% and higher. Sorry, 90% higher bonus rate. Sorry, little guy was talking to me.
Randy says, not a wrestler. You're an idiot. You made me laugh, made me chuckle. I got to catch up here.
Good job, buddy.
Seems like things are popping off in the chat here, folks. I got to catch myself up.
Let's get involved.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Fireworks here. This is what we're here for. And here,
I'm reading the chat now. It's getting pretty wild, man.
Is it?
Yeah, so guys, that's the only. Those are the only times ever 90% bonus that Hodge winners have gotten. So it's very rare. And right now we got two guys that are in the over 90, and one of them's almost at 90. So very rare to have that. That's not happened many times. I know Mitch Clark did it.
Yeah. We're about to get to the weight class breakdowns. I know people are probably waiting for that, but listen, I moved Kevin Stats to the front of the show today.
I appreciate that, buddy.
Here it is. Your Dan Gable, Cale Sanderson comparison. Kevin, touch on this, and then we're gonna get into
wild.
it.
You got it, buddy. So everybody's been asking, has there ever been a 100% bonus? The answer is yes. Now, I heard on a podcast somebody say that Cal had it, but he didn't he officially had one, but he didn't because of the All-Star. He officially did not have it because in 2002, the All-Star Classic counted on your record. Only in 2005, when they moved it to the beginning of the season, did the All-Star Classic not count on your record, and it was an exhibition. But when Cal wrestled it, it did count. He beat John Trench 6-1. So that was out of the 40 matches. That was the only one he didn't bonus. He bonused him 2 other times he wrestled him. So he finished with a 97.5. Dan Gable, his junior year,
brutal.
A machine, 30-0 with 27 pins, Zach. 1 forfeit, 1 tech, 1 major, 100% bonus. Look at his dominance rating, 5.9. That's almost averaging a pin. Now, here's a slight caveat with this, okay? In 1969, they hadn't yet created the major decision or the technical fall. So he had a match that was 12-1, and he had a match that was 25-6. At that time, he didn't have a 100% bonus. You could say he does now because we have a tech and a major decision, but actually the only way you could get a 100% bonus in 1969 is if you pinned everyone or had forfeits. That's it. So do what you may with that, but I look at it as he had a 100% bonus,
Okay. I mean, there are some intricacies there, I guess you could say, in each wrestler. I don't know, some things that could change.
This is what's nuts, Zach. Listen to this. Gable had that junior year. Then his senior year, before he got beat, he ended his record his senior year was like 33-1, or 33-1 with 31 pins. So he ended up having, between his junior and senior year, 54 straight bonus wins. And in those 54 straight bonus wins, 51 of them were pins.
Damn,
and he pinned, and he had his junior year, he pinned everyone at NCAAs. It's insane.
Like Michael
he
Jordan
pinned
versus LeBron argument. like old age versus new age. You know what I mean?
It's crazy,
what
man.
was Dan Gable's competition? Can I make the case against Dan Gable? What was his competition? I would like to think Kale probably has some
funny
better
watching
competition.
stuff back then. Well,
yeah, Kale probably had a lot better
it's all
competition.
relative.
I know one of the guys Kale faces is a UFC champion. I know that. Dan Gable beat any UFC champs.
If you look at, I mean, this guy pinned everybody his junior year at NCAAs. All 5 people he pinned them. Then his senior year, he pinned everyone up to the finals. So I don't think people understand. I know everyone knows it was a big upset, but really when you look at it, his 13-11 loss, that's a guy that was 32-0 with 31 pins going into that match. I mean, it's just like wild. And Owings was a sophomore.
Crazy. All right. Let's get into it, Kevin. You got some Kyle Dake stuff. We'll hold that. You want to touch on Kyle Dake dominance real quick, and then
we'll fire through real quick. So, guys, check this out.
Kevin got to do something, man, to make himself feel better as a Cornell fan right now. He can put together some Kyle Dake stuff.
And if this stuff is driving you guys nuts, just let me know in the comments section, and I'll cut down on it. But
no, we
Kyle
all love
Dake,
it, Kevin.
man.
Keep them coming. Follow Cornell_Kevin S, man. You can get all these stats and see them much better on your screen. Zoom in and everything. Chat is popping off, dude. We got a big argument. Randy and not a wrestler, I think, are popping off in the chat. I don't know. I got to catch up, but here we go. Let's get started, Kevin. 125. Luke Lillardale does finish it off against McGowan in the finals. Provo gets third. Vincent Robinson, your defending champion, comes in at fourth. Coming in at fifth was Spratley, who beat Robinson, but then loses to Robinson in the wrestlebacks. Moran 6, Volk 7, and Klinsky. Shout out to Willie. He called that Klinsky AA All-American. 125 is always crazy. Kevin, I mean, my thoughts on the finals before I throw it to you, very boring. McGowan, I guess that's the right game plan against Lillardale, but man, do I hate that game plan. That's a very boring game plan to watch. I hate watching that game plan. And by the way, if that's your game plan, I'm pretty sure the game plan includes going balls to the wall like the last 30 seconds. Like, you forgot that part of the game plan, McGowan. But you made it there, and hats off to you for doing that. But you forgot the part where you're supposed to get a takedown at the end, McGowan. But hats off Lillardale, man. At 125 does it. Does this break? Wasn't there a Penn State curse or something at 125? Kevin, I don't remember. Maybe.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah. You know what, man? It's not a surprise. You saw what McGowan did in the dual meet, right? He got stalled out against Lillardale. Here's my thing, man. Do everybody a favor, and if you're not going to wrestle to win, just lose in the semis. And I know that might be harsh words, but you wrestled to say that you only lost 2-1. I don't know what, or you just were hoping that you weren't going to get called for stalling, but you should have known. You don't think the officials know what happened the last match, that you got stalled out? You don't think that's in the back of their head? I don't know, man. If you're not going to go for it, Zach, I would rather lose. I'd rather get majored in the final than lose 2-1 and not do anything.
Oh, I agree.
And I'm not just saying that.
He's going to regret that when he grows old. He's going to regret not going for it. Yes, James in the comments, Luke didn't deserve. Did Luke get booed? I feel like they were probably booing McGowan.
No, they were saying Luke.
Oh, Luke.
People think, yes. People think they were booing him. They were saying Luke.
Yeah, man, go, McGowan. Throw it all up against the wall, dude. Literally, this is your chance. And
I just want to say this, Zach. With Levi and Lillardale, okay? Nobody, they won by stall calls, right? But if you're the other guy, you got to wrestle, man. And I don't know, man. It's just what do you want? What do you want? They weren't wrestling them. It is what it is. It's not like these guys put in these attack rates that were really great and they got screwed. I just think that they stalled, it sucks. It is what it is, but it sucks that they didn't try and shoot more.
Yeah. I mean, listen, how about just don't get stalling called on you? Yeah, like shoot. Like avoid that from happening, McGowan. Like, yeah, I take nothing away from Lillidahl. I take nothing away from Levi Haynes. Like, dude, and especially with the refs nowadays. You really got to get stalled to get stalled.
You're in the NCAA final. Clearly, you're talented.
Yeah,
so show it, man.
I hate that, McGowan. But any other thoughts here on like 125? You know, respect Vincent Robinson for fighting back. Spratley, there, another Oklahoma
Nick
State
Bouzakis,
Cowboy.
man. Nick Bouzakis, what a sad story that is. You know, just another year with not getting on the podium. He dieted all year long, and it stinks because, like I said earlier, there was a point in the season around the holidays where he was just an animal. He teched Renteria. He majored Pullen. He had he majored Moran there from Indiana, and then he went from majoring him to getting majored by him. You know, I think it was just having to make the weight too much, wore him down at the end of the season, and you could tell that first match he wrestled NCAAs against the Columbia kid who he should have just destroyed. He just looked like a shell of himself, you know, so you hate to see that.
Yeah, the other elephant in the room here is Ventresca, not All-American.
Oh,
the 2 seed here.
Insane, man. And, you know, it's really weird, Zach, when I'm looking at like the way the brackets shaped off, like how many times there was like in the blood round a 2 versus a 4 seed. And it's like, how does that happen where you got a 2 and a 4 seed in a blood round?
I know.
And it just, I've never seen it happen as much as it did this tournament, where you had the blood round matches were insane this year, way crazier than usual. They're always good, but they were like guys where you're just like, how are these guys facing in the blood round? That was my take on, the blood round matches. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, who did Arujo have? Arujo have, second round of wrestlebacks was Arujo and someone.
Oh,
it was crazy.
It was nuts. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
talking about nuts. How about this chat popping off? I'm going to open up the phone line. Like, if we can get not a wrestler and what's his rival here? They're going back. Randy Lang and not a wrestler? Let's have you both call in. We'll have a little debate show. You guys settle this live on the air. How about that?
Oh, it was Arujo and Lockett, Zach. Second round in the
Lockett,
wrestlebacks.
That was it. Yeah. And Lockett won and still did an All-American. Incredible.
Yeah.
All right, 133. Jax Force does it. And looking like Superman. They're promoting him like Superman. Seems like the face of the sport here going forward for the next couple of years. Beats Ben DeVino in the finals. Gets taken down for the first time. Seidel beats Blaze to take third. Then Ayala. Hats off Ayala. Fighting back for fifth there. Tyler Knox sixth. Van D. And Lucas Bird, 4-time All-American out of Illinois. And, defending champion from last year, but shows the grit to come back and get 8th this year. I appreciate that. Kevin.
Yeah. Van D is just a dog, man. Loses first round again in All-Americans, second year in a row. Tyler Knox, his brother called in last year. Remember that, Zach?
Yes, I do.
And he's a good guy. And, Tyler Knox he's a performer come March. You see a lot of these same names that overperform their seeds in March. You notice that? Tyler Knox is one of them. Drake Ayala, I was happy to see his season ended pretty good. He had some good wins. He beat Bird. When I see this weight class, a couple things come to mind. One, there's no way Aaron Seidel is going to make this weight class next year. I just don't see it. He was pretty big, man.
Okay.
2, Ben DeVino is like Houdini as far as getting taken down. I don't know if you remember this, but he wrestled Cortez, one of the Cornell gray shirts, in the final or in the semis of the Clarion tournament. And Cortez had him dead to rights 3 different times. I couldn't believe. I'm like, he just can't take him down. He had him, and then he beat Cortez in overtime, right? I watched this. I was shocked how hard it was for Forrest to take him down, but it was he had to pull out all the stops, man. Davino is a tough cat to take down. So even though he lost, I was really impressed by Davino, and I'm glad. I think it was a better match having him there than Marcus Blaze being in there.
I agree. I agree. What intrigues me is who wins, like Davino, Seidel, like. But no, I think that finals was fun. Put up a good fight up against Jax Forrest. Drake Ayala, I like that fight to come back and get fifth. Same, like I said, same with Bird, Van D. How about Stanford, Tyler Knox? How about the Larkin Bros? Neither Larkin Bro, All American.
Oh my gosh, can you believe that?
No,
how insane is that?
I would have bet a lot of money that would not have happened, but
both of them, Zach. Unbelievable. Can I say one thing? I'm a big Jax Forrest supporter, but can we? And I hate to talk about the age thing, but can we? He's supposed to be a freshman in college, right? It doesn't mean that it's any less spectacular, but let's not. Like he's not.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a little over.
He's not a 17-year-old. Okay,
he's not that young, dude. Even like there's
19,
other wrestlers younger than Jax, dude. Yeah, like when you break it down to age,
and that's
really
all
what
we
should give hats off to age. It should be Levi Haynes, who doesn't do like Levi Haynes, dude, is a dog. He don't skip out years, sit out years. Levi Haynes is a true age wrestler and did what he did. So
same with Hamidi last year. Hamidi was just turned 21 when he won the title his senior year. But I'm not saying like what he did is amazing, man.
Yeah, let's stop with the high school stuff.
I consider him like a freshman age, you know. Yeah, he's not. He's a 19.
Storyline stuff is what it was. ESPN needed that. That was their storyline, their headline storyline.
And thank goodness that he did that, and I'm so glad that David Taylor did it. It made everything more exciting this year.
Oh,
you know, it was great.
Paid off. What a payoff for David Taylor. And this decision, he looks brilliant. David Taylor's looking like a genius right now up to this point in his coaching career.
Did you watch the match between Seidel and Blaze by chance for third? Seidel really just controlled the whole match. He won 5-0.
I did watch
and
that.
When I watched that, I was like,
that's why I said, what's Seidel and Davino look like? Have we seen that? I don't think we've seen that.
No.
I want to see that.
When I watched that, though, Zach, I was just like, Jax beat him 14-3, and I'm watching Seidel just control Blaze, like, you know, pretty 5-0. You know, but no, I agree. Seidel. That's one of the matches that when you leave the tournament and you're like, what is name 5 matches that you wish you could have saw that you didn't see? That would be on my list for sure, Zach. The Seidel-Davino match.
And Jax challenge is going to be maintaining this high level. I'll tell you that. You know, he's at such a high level right now. Can he maintain this? He's got 3 years, a long time when you're in college at Oklahoma State. A lot of pretty women walking around, a lot of distractions in your ears. You know what I mean?
These guys are tall too, man. Him and Vega they put anything on those frames, they're bumping up, and then where does that leave the Rainey? Really awful problems to have, right? Just so much talent that you're just
all that down. What their lineup will look like next year, but right now, Jax Forrest is the man, and I'm sure all the women are flocking to him right now out there in cowboy country, right?
It's kind of cool, man. When I went on my recruiting trip for Binghamton, his dad was on the team at that time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Isn't that funny?
Hey, how do you feel about
that makes me and Jax like
Kevin,
this?
Before we move on, Semper catching a couple comments. Let's try to catch up on comments. You like the championship belts? I kind of like them.
Sure,
they're a
why
little
not?
corny this year. They seem a little corny, maybe a little light, but I like what we're trying.
Sure, why not?
We'll come back next year and do it a little better. Little. Yeah. You see, they're adding music.
A little more bling on them, maybe.
Whoa! Now I'm just reading James. He says those belts were terrible, ugly. Whoa!
They were, dude. James. They were. James, you're so right, man. Those were the ugliest belts. That's why I said they were all right, because they weren't.
That's why I said they looked a little light, but wasn't exactly.
What can you do?
Joe Rogan slapping on a UFC
Zach.
belt. I'll say that.
This is the same. This is the same NCAA that cut it down to 3-team trophies the year because of budgets. You know, And then they apparently this back up to 4 now, but we can't be going nuts on the belts if they're having trouble affording a trophy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, some other fan support for the rivalry between Randy and Not a Wrestler. People saying, let's get that call-in rivalry going. Who knows? Let's set that up future show, folks, and debate it out. Got a lot to catch up on. Any final thoughts at 33 before we look at 41?
Nope.
Okay.
Moving on up.
41, it is Vega. You know what I want to call him? Mr. Swag. Dr. Swag. Something like that. He just has swag. He's always cool, calm. He never worked up. He's always got a little smirk on his face, and you think, does he know something I don't know? And apparently he has all year. Him and David Taylor and that whole program, because he goes out, knocks off Mendez, who gets second, Stanich third, Hardy fourth, Noggle out of Air Force. Didn't see that one coming. Shout out Air Force. At fifth, Echemendia sixth, Composto seventh, Henson eighth. Kevin, your thoughts here.
Couple thoughts. So many people messaging me, oh, you gotta be pissed about Vega. Dude, that ship sailed so long ago. Why? Yeah, it's disappointing, but I don't dislike the kid or I don't root against him. Well, Zach, am I going to be mad at a guy for deciding that he doesn't want to go gray shirt at Cornell with no NIL, and instead he wanted to go to Oklahoma State and win a national title his freshman year? Am I going to look at that and go, oh man, especially since knowing that when David Taylor was calling him, he said no several times to them. No. I mean, it wasn't like he just, dude, I'm not mad at all, man. It's a pleasure watching him. No, and I wonder this, Zach. When was it that you thought to yourself he could win this? Was it before the match, or was it during the match? And if during the match, at what point during the match did you think, you know what, this is going to be a thing?
Man, honestly, when I saw how loose he was and the smirk on his face walking out, I think he has a chance. And he had the same kind of grin on his face in the conference championships. Vega did. And
yeah, he's a cool
that
cat,
kind of level
man.
of confidence, man. That it reminds me of a Penn State wrestler walking out. Like David Taylor's taking Kale's recipe. He's now implementing it at Oklahoma State. You see it, and he's now just taking it and tweaking it and improving it a little bit. That's what's just happening. He's taking it. This is what always happens in life and in business, in corporations. Young guy,
yeah,
learns from the older guy who's the greatest, the Buffett or whatever it is, and then they tweak it and they adapt it to the lifestyle of today. And I think you're seeing that exactly in what David Taylor's doing. Larry's in the green room, so
I think that when I 30 seconds into the match, when I saw Mendez really give him his best attacks, and it wasn't going anywhere, that's when I was like, man, this is a thing. This could actually happen, and it.
Yeah.
What a wild weight class. And I will say that out of all the people, I was so disappointed for all the Cornell guys that didn't AA, but Vince Cornella, man, the season he had going, he was in the quarterfinals against Hardy, 27-1, only losing in the last 10 seconds to Stanich. And he could have won that Hardy match. He definitely could have won it. He was in on the winning takedown at the end, right? And then you go and you lose to Air Force. And that I blame on the coaching, because it should have been scouted that Noggle's a beast on top. And Cornella chose bottom, and he got turned twice. But what was disappointing to me, Zach, is he beat Composto 4 times this year, including in the tournament. He majored him 12-2. Composto somehow always manages to AA. For the 3rd time in a row, he AAs. Yeah. And Cornella doesn't AA. And Composto somehow AAs again. It's crazy.
Yeah, one of those disappointing weight classes here if you're a big red guy, but certainly not if you're a cowboy. But listen, We're coming up on 8 o'clock. Folks, it's going to be a little bit of a longer show because we got a couple call-ins, and we'll try to keep them brief. First is going to be Randy, and then we got Hawkeye Terry. I definitely want to give Hawkeye Terry a chance to talk because Iowa and daggone it, I forgot to upload some of the video of Gabe Arnold's reaction after he All-American, but you really got to see.
Oh, I didn't see that.
How quickly we forget that Gabe Arnold, did he leave Iowa? Was kicked out of Iowa? I don't know.
He was kicked off the team, man.
He was off the team. And now,
and then
look at the transgression. And if you want to make a case against Tom Brands, dude, I would this would be my defense if I'm a defense lawyer. Gabe Arnold, trust my process is what I would say if I'm Tom Brands. Gabe Arnold, you're off the team. Then we're gonna bring him back, dude. We had to break him down. By the way, this is what they do in the military: break him down. Let's check his ego, and then we're gonna build him up, dude. And they clearly built him up. Yep, go ahead.
The thing that impressed me most, Zach, is he lost first round, and he lost in a heartbreaking manner to Rodmacher. He lost because he literally couldn't hold him down for 4 seconds from the top position. So you would think after that, he would just be like, I just totally screwed up, but he kept going.
Yeah, hats off Gabe Arnold. We will have I have quite a few ideas of shows I got lined up here.
Awesome.
One is going to be, obviously our Dog of the Year is going to have to come into play here. But first I want to bring in Randy. He's been hot fire here in the comments. And with Not a Wrestler, I want to give him a quick chance. Randy, you're live here. You're on the show. I don't see anything on the screen, so I'm going to give you a quick chance. Tell us what the argument is, dude, or what do you have to say?
Hey, first of all, I followed you guys since the very beginning, and you're killing it, man. Everything you're doing is amazing. Cornell, Kevin, your stats are unbelievable. I live here in Utah.
Thanks, man.
Cade Moss wrestled at Penn State and was backup. I've been following Cale since he was in high school. What he is doing is special, and everyone should just enjoy what's happening. David Taylor going to Oklahoma, it's unbelievable. DT is bringing it. They will win. Just wait. It's happening. The comments that we get from some of these people that don't understand, Shane Sparks says, wrestling is hard. Even the guys that don't make the starting lineup, they're unbelievable. So to try to crap on anybody, to say that Mitchell Messenbrink didn't major somebody because he was trying to break his leg, dude, go F yourself. Like, are you kidding me? Like, he's one of the few people, he and Jax, that will let it fly. Just appreciate what they're doing. As fans, we want to see people like Mitchell Messenbrink and Jax that bring it. Like, just shut up. You know what I mean?
Randy!
Yeah.
Hot dog, dude, I did not expect that. Randy. That's all black screen. I thought I was going to get
It's
pranked.
always good getting some truth on, though, like, I didn't think he was trying to break anyone's leg. I actually was looking at the spot where he put Hefner down, and I didn't, because I heard everyone go, oh, man, he slammed him and this and that, and I didn't even think I didn't really see what happened. Like, they kind of just went out of bounds,
Go watch that first takedown when Mitchell was like pointing to the ref saying, stop, stop, stop. He was trying to break his leg.
Okay, I'm going to have to watch that back. All right, Randy comes on and makes a good case. Now, the argument has been up against
wait, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, Kevin.
So, I'm sorry. So, Hapner was trying to break Mitchell's leg?
Correct.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I had that all backwards.
Man,
wow.
What's Rob Cole doing over there, Kevin? All right, we're going to have to watch this back, Randy. And Not a Wrestler. This has been the beef. We got beef in the comment. Says Randy's triggered by facts. Calls you baby. All right, I'm leading up to. I want to have you and Not a Wrestler on here, Randy. And you come on here. You're very well spoken. So,
love you guys. This is an amazing show. I follow you. Keep bringing it. I love how you interrupt. Your startup music. Everything you do that is unconventional. Just keep bringing it because I listen to all of them. Right, flow and everything. But you guys are unique. Bring it. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Randy. That's awesome. I really appreciate that.
We really do appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that, man. I think we try to be pioneers out here. But all right, Randy, that was quite an impressive call-in. Randy, we got to have you call in again. man, you brought absolute dynamite, dude. Just drop bombs
Call
on
it
us,
anytime,
dude.
man.
Short, succinct, to the point, dude. He don't mess around. Not a wrestler. Challenges out to you. Not a wrestler. But, all right, we got to bring in Hawkeye Terry here because right now, Hawkeye Terry, welcome to the show.
Terry.
You got to be feeling good, baby.
Hey,
We're
guys.
feeling good as Hawkeye fans right now, right? Terry, how you feeling?
There's people out there going, oh, it's great that you're settling for fourth. You're settling for fourth. But, the expectations were not that great going in. And the fact that we did get fourth over Ohio State, no less, and put 7 All-Americans on the board. There was a time, Penn States are doing things now that's never been seen. So 7 All-Americans just gets basically discounted like it's nothing because Penn State got 10 and they're putting 6 in the finals. I'm talking about 10 last year and 6 in the finals this year. And Nebraska scored 130 some points, was it last year? And Oklahoma State had 131 this year. That's good enough to win overwhelming majority of the national championships. So I think so many people lose perspective on what Penn State's doing right now that they don't even allow anybody else to enjoy anything else. And for me, I'm going to enjoy the 7 All-Americans. I'm going to enjoy Tom silencing the crowds out there, calling for his head as if he can't coach. And I'm going to enjoy it. Simple as that. There was only 2 disappointments in the entire tournament. Go ahead, Kev.
It could be worse, Terry. You could be me.
Absolutely.
I mean, Terry, you got nothing to be sad about, buddy.
Or you could be Larry Steele.
100%.
But
honestly, if you could have offered me what we got, the only 2 I wouldn't have taken, I would have hoped that Peterson would have aided, and he was very, very close in the blood round match. He had a takedown 98% security, and he just didn't quite get it. And then obviously Angelo, you hate losing the semifinals by rideouts. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think they need to do a different way of determining in the nationals who advances on that. That's fine for the regular season to do rideouts, but I'm not sure that's great in the semifinals.
Oh, completely agree.
No.
That's horrible. Figure something out, please. Make someone win the match. That's not winning the match to me.
It just feels unsettling when that happens, And Terry, did you know that was Dean Peterson's 3rd time in the blood round, losing in the blood round?
Yeah, I do. And, he's just never been able to put it together. And the unfortunate thing is he was ranked, he was seated 8th. So he was bound to meet Lillendahl, which is going to bump him to the backside too early. And because I think he has the ability to upset a lot of people. And of course, you're going to get the Iowa transfers, didn't succeed. I'm perfectly fine with what Dean Peterson provided. I just think it didn't quite fall right for him.
Well,
yeah,
Terry,
it's a tough road.
To your team point, Terry, not only did they get 4th, they were plus money odds on DraftKings to finish top 5. I bet $100 at Iowa plus, I do believe, plus 180 to finish as a top 5 team. So I won like $260 or something for Iowa finishing 4th. And then you were thinking, do they have a chance of getting 3rd? But no, overall, you did mention like both Ferraris injury defaulted out. I don't love that. But before we get into that, I do have up on the screen, I'm going to ask you about a couple Iowa wrestlers. Caliendo loses to Messenbrink. Terry doesn't shake his hand on the podium as they're standing to get the pictures taken. You got a problem with that?
No, I don't actually. Honestly, I think Caliendo was just zoned out. He just got teched on national TV. And like I told you guys on the chat, there's a lot of people that don't even watch a single wrestling match and they watch the finals and they see that outcome and they think, oh, gee, how did this guy get in the finals? He's not very good. And they have no idea how good Caliendo is. And I
So
think
good.
he's just crushed. And even Tom said in the interview, his interview, he said, we're working through some things on Caliendo, meaning he's really crushed. So I think, honestly, I think he was just zoned out
Yeah, I
and
don't
just
blame you.
wasn't
Listen,
really having anything.
no, listen. You know who I got a problem with, Terry? Every wrestler who did shake his hand on that podium. I tell you that right now, if that's my son, I say, don't shake his hand, Joe.
Well,
you lost to that
did
man. You come back and
did
you
you
work harder, you beat that man next time. Shaking hands.
Did you
Come on.
see?
Nah,
Okay, Alvin, right? Who took third? Did you see
Yeah,
what he
I
did?
saw that.
He shook his
Yeah.
hand, and then when he noticed, he looked over and he saw Caliendo not do it. And Alvin's such a nice kid that then he looks over and he shakes his hand again. He says good job. But I'll
did
tell
see
you what,
that.
dude.
Alvin, yeah. That's all
Alvin, dude, listen to this, guys. Alvin has lost 20 matches the last 2 years. The beginning of this year, Alvin got pinned by Dylan Elmore. Do you know who that is? Because I don't.
No.
In 42 seconds. Then later in the year, this is around the holidays, Alvin got pinned by Brendan Abden from Ryder. Do you know who that is? I don't either. He got pinned by him in 26 seconds. And this guy goes and gets third at NCAAs. I love it. I love it.
That's impressive.
And the interesting thing about that is you watch that Messenbrink match, and once Messenbrink got him down, he was going for turns because I think he sensed something when they were both on their feet. Alvin was pretty explosive on his feet. It's like Messenbrink didn't want to mess with him. He said, let's just get this over with and get back points, and exploited that.
Alvin won 18 matches in a row before he lost to Messenbrink. He was on an 18-match win streak. Very quietly.
Yeah, he was impressive.
Okay, but Terry, I want to go back to Iowa because, we overperformed, I feel like, and we're kind of happy right now, but I want to kind of look at next year. Keeter looked good. I heard talks that he could potentially be the top-ranked heavyweight next year. Ryder Block overperformed. However, we got a lot graduating. What's this offseason going to look like for Iowa? What are we looking at?
It's better be active because, arguably three out of our four best wrestlers are graduating. I mean, there's some big losses. Kennedy, I keep saying that I don't see anybody in the tournament gets more out of his talent than that guy. He can just absolutely grind a win. And Karchel facing him 5 times this year is incredible. Drake, I thought Drake wrestled as good as he, in that weight class. I thought 5th was probably his ceiling, and that's what he got. And you know what? He broke the code on the Bird code. He beat him in the Big Ten. He beat him in the Nationals, and he just flat took it to Bird. Unlike that finals match where Bird was dictating, Drake just absolutely pressed him and just took it to him and didn't let him get into that scientific match. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really active off season. Keeter, I keep hearing that he's going to play spring football, and of all the years for him not to play football, it's this year because I think if he got his head together, I think he could really make some hay next year.
No, I agree. I saw him turn the corner at the end of the year this year. I feel like Ben Keeter. I feel like I saw him turn the corner, and now if you get an off season with some confidence under your belt, who knows? He goes in number 1 ranked. He could win a heavyweight championship next year. You mentioned Ayala.
He just needs to shoot. He just needs to shoot because, he shot 4 times in the Big Tens, and he scored all 4 times. You need to be shooting 2 to 3 times a match, and he because he rides very, very well. And by the way, Zach, you mentioned confidence. I think that's going to be the big factor with Ryder Block. I think this really should boost his confidence up.
Oh, look out for Ryder Block.
Do you guys think there's any chance that, and if not, why wouldn't he? Angelo Ferrari going up to 197.
I thought this year, looking at the landscape, I thought I wonder if he's a little bit tempted to just have a clearer path to the finals in my mind than he would at 184. Now, I think in a way he doesn't want to bow out of that, those
Yeah,
four guys that are elite at 184. I think that looks a little bit weak, but he would have been more built for 197 than Gabe Arnold is. And especially
yeah,
since he's trained with Buchanan a ton, he's trained with AJ for a ton. So he's used to wrestling bigger guys.
yeah. It's kind of like a weird situation where it's like, I don't know if I don't think that increases his odds of winning by going to 197, but it certainly increases his odds to make the finals. So it's kind of like,
100%.
But and another thing I was wondering real quick is, do you see Ryder Block going up to 57?
There's some people, and these are just posters that are speculating that could happen. If I was him, if I could make 149, I'd make 149 just because of the competition level at that weight class. But
Yeah,
he's really a hulking 149 because when he wrestled Joy, he was flat bigger than Joy, and I thought
he
Joy
was
was
a
a
lot.
big,
Yeah, yeah,
a
he was
lot bigger
big,
than Joy.
man. I was like,
Yes.
whoa,
And,
and Joyce sucks a decent amount of weight to make that weight class.
right. And it's nice to see a few Iowa guys actually be bigger for the weight class for a change. Because in past years I was always going, man, he looks so small. But Angelo's a big 184. He looks like it to me. Ryder Block and Drake Ayala are both big for that weight class. So,
Hmm.
and of course Gabe Arnold at 5'6" is towering over those guys at 197.
Yeah,
So we lose Caliendo, Kennedy, Ayala,
Peterson,
Peterson. Is that it?
right.
Okay.
So they're going to be looking, DeLuca is going to he's going to fill in 125 next year. He's really good. I mean,
do you
he's beaten Nate Desmond. He's wrestled high level guys. He's been injured for
think
a couple of years. He was injured his
think he'll
senior
be
year. He was
20?
injured.
Think he'll be 25 though, or do you think any chance of 33?
No chance. He'll be
No
125.
chance.
He's projected to be a 125 career. He's not very tall. And then I think Luddington's going 197.
It'd be
So,
nice if they could get Nasir Bally to go back down to 33.
and that's an option. They've got a little flexibility in the portal. They could portal in a 141, drop Bailey down, or they could portal in a 133. But they're going to need to portal in somebody there, and they're definitely going to need a 165.
Yeah, and I think both the guys they got in the portal, man, they need to go down. I think they need to put Block at 57 and Williams down at 49 because Williams is like a 49. I don't know what the deal is with Williams. I don't even know if have you heard anything about him?
Well, yeah, I think people are speculating, oh, he's going to leave. But I don't think there's any basis of information behind that. I just think, oh, since he got quote unquote benched prior to the Big Tens, that he's going to leave. I don't necessarily think there's any basis in fact. I actually agree with you. I think he's better at 149 than he would be at 157. But I also think it's in Block's best interest to stay at 149 just because of the competition
Absolutely.
level.
Absolutely.
I like the way Block wrestles. Terry, final
Yeah.
thoughts, man. We'll have some time later this week and next week go more in depth, but we do have another call in here. We'll move on, but I do want to give you a chance. Really, like overall takeaway, maybe final thoughts on the tournament.
Well, I'll finish with this. Tom's been the coach for, I believe, 19 years, 18 straight years of top five finishes. This was the 18th straight year. So
I'm going
That's
to have to update the
consistency.
video I made, Terry, because, yeah, it was like maybe 2 years ago, I guess, that video I made defending Tom Brands and his job when Beth first got hired there. I know she watched that, Terry.
and his post match or a post tournament interview, there was a guy on there. I don't know who he was, but he asked two phenomenal questions because everybody's afraid of Tom. And this
Yeah.
guy just flat out asked great questions. Now we got pretty much the same standard answer, but I just love the question. You know, the guy said, "I believe you're elite, but what are you going to do to get back up there with Cale Sanderson and what he's doing
Oh
at
my
Penn State?"
gosh.
And I just love the question. But
That guy's got some. You know what's weird is I heard on Flow today, Christian Piles said that him and the athletic director have a great relationship together.
you know, I just heard that recently that
Beth?
they get along. I
Yeah.
heard
Tom
that
and
from
Beth get
somebody else.
along? My jaw hit the floor if that's true.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
what I thought. I had to
Did not
rewind
take
it. I'm
those-
like, did I just hear that right?
All right,
Well,
listen.
you remember when Zach interviewed the Carissa Chung, the women's
Yeah.
head coach, and he asked him do you interact with Tom Brands? I'm sure you do a lot. No, I don't interact with him at all. So
She's like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
exactly.
That's awesome.
It would be a little surprising, but all right, Terry. Thanks for the calling. Let's talk to you again.
Thanks,
Here we got
Terry.
the offseason and transfer
bet.
portal
Take care,
starts
guys.
up. Transfer portal right
Sure.
around
Oh,
the corner.
It's going to be some news.
Gonna be some news, he says.
They'll be active.
Oh, I know there will, baby. I know there will. We're looking forward to it. All right, let's bring in Ryan. He's been in the green room. Ryan, oh, man. I know Ryan. Ryan, how you feeling, man? How you doing?
I'm just here to share in Kevin's pain with former EIWA powers that once were. Kevin, I gotta say, it's just, I think that it hurts the Ivy League and the IWA with the weaker conference schedules, not preparing the teams as well. You know, Stanich wrestled great, but he was their only All-American. They had 4 guys that were ranked in the top 5 6 weeks ago. And I mean, did you get, like, I usually get really excited that first week in March with the Cornell Lehigh showdowns. In the last 2 years, I've been missing it. And it just, I mean, so many great battles in years past with, you know, like Nate Brown and Gabe Dean. It would basically be a preview of the NCAA finals, or Dake and Minati.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, and obviously Columbia had a great year, so you can't say, but like, imagine how good that EIWA tournament would have been this year. It would have been, it would have prepared everyone so much better. And maybe you know more than I do, but why did they break it up? Ivy League just doesn't want to wrestle dumb guys or something like that? Like,
dude, I don't know, man. It's horrible. And everyone's like, and someone needs to explain it to me better. Like I'm just dumb, because everyone's like, well, the Ivies deserve their own conference. And it's like, why? Like, the thing that sucks is I don't want to go to a conference. People are like, are you going to the Ivy conference room? I'm like, no, I'm not going to. What? So I can see guys that are in the semifinals already? And it's just awful. It's just, I don't want to see that. EIWA used to have the biggest conference. So maybe not, obviously not Big 10 or Big 12 quality, but it was so many teams that you had a lot of. Yes, I agree with you. It was the third best.
In like 2015, it was like the third best conference, clearly. And I wonder, like, because I'm guessing in the Ivy League with 6 teams, the top 2 seeds only wrestled 2 matches, right?
Yeah, and you know what? It burned us this year because we had Louis Sergio. He stepped in at 184 because our 184 pounder blew out his knee. He had a ton of matches at 165. He only had 7 matches. He lost in the conference finals. The allocation was 1. He had to win it. He lost in the conference finals because he was the 2 seed and not the 3 seed. He fell 1 match short of getting an at-large because you have to have at least 8 matches. He ended up with 7. So if he just would have been seeded 3rd, but it's just like, that's a perfect example. And when I watch Stanich, I can't help to think that if he would have, he had that match with Cornell, his first match, right? After that, he doesn't have any competition until he goes to NCAAs, really, And I think that I know for Cornell, I've been getting a lot of people, they'll stick up for what's going on there. And they tell me, they're like, all that Gray needs to worry about is winning the Ivy and performing in March. And I couldn't argue all that much with it because he doesn't think that duels matter that much. It's very obvious. But you know what? Now he didn't win the Ivy League. He won the Ivy Conference, not the Ivy League, and they didn't perform in March. And it seems most of the team was not wrestling the first semester. And
Underperformed.
I can't. It made me sick. It
Across
was
the
the
board.
worst. I cannot explain to you how I felt this past weekend. It was just like an empty, horrible feeling. I was to the point where I was like, I need to relax, man. This is like depressing me too much. It shouldn't bother me that much.
Like, yeah, man. I feel like, I just feel like both teams, Lehigh and Cornell, would have been better prepared. I think Cornell would have gotten an All-American at 141 if he had another fuel at Stanich right 2 weeks before. That would have been good for him, I think. You know? And it's just, I'm like, these guys, like, Lehigh usually has 3 All-Americans if they had won this year. And part of that was Crookham being out. But I'm just like, they got to fuse those and make that one conference again. It's really annoying, in my opinion. Maybe other people like it.
No, if you do like it, I would like to hear why you like it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm open to everything. I don't think I know everything. So maybe there's a good reason for it, you know, and I just would like to hear it.
It's kind of why I don't mind Penn State staying out of national duels. Best team in the country by far stays at national duels. It gives a team like Lehigh a chance to get in and see that competition. Do they need it? I think they need it a lot. So
I agree with you there because I think the national duels are better without. I'm sorry. The national duels are better without Penn State. Think about this. Think about if the NCAA tournament team race didn't have Penn State in it every year. You'd have like second and third place teams battling it out. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that's why I feel like it's better without them in the national duels. And if you're them, they're not going to change anything. Why would they? They break the record every year. They're not going to switch up their schedule.
Yeah. And I mean, Cornell was second in NCAAs 2 years ago. People forget that. Or was it 3 years ago? I don't know.
They were third. They were third 3 years ago, and then second 2 years ago. It's just it's real ugly. I mean, you got a 2 seeds and a 3 seed, and the 3 seed takes 8th. The 2 seeds don't get on the podium. 3 blood round losses, just horrible. It was just awful. You only take 5 guys. You can only take 5 guys to national. You're in the Ivy.
Penn and Princeton and Columbia are coming, I guess.
They are getting better, man.
So maybe it is good enough to be their own conference, but it would be even better if you had like Navy and Army are getting better. Lehigh's but like I told you guys this in January when Lehigh was ranked 5th. I'm like they're constantly ranked top 5, 6, and then it just falls apart by the end. I just want to see them get in the top 10 so bad in one of these years, and I don't know.
Competition during the season.
I agree with you.
Well, and then they go to national duels and half their lineups not in the lineup, and they hold guys out against Penn State, and it's like you got to take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah.
Why not have Seymour wrestle Lilidol? You know, in that duel, that was like, man. I feel your pain, brother. I feel your pain.
Do you know why a few weeks ago? I think it was one of the last thing, and I'll hop off. I know you guys got a lot to talk about. Why didn't it worked out for him? But how come Stanich didn't wrestle Composto when they wrestled Penn? Do you know why?
I don't know that, and I also don't know why he went to that Bloomsburg Open tournament, and him and Oliveri were both there, and they split them up into a 141A and 141B bracket instead of wrestling each other. I don't understand things like that.
Yeah. I mean, Santoro knows a lot more than I do, but from a fan's perspective, it's like when you're a small school, you want to see them wrestle the big guys when they got the chance, you know?
Absolutely. 100%.
All right, guys. Great show. Thanks for
thanks so much, brother.
Yeah, we appreciate the call, man. We appreciate you sharing your pain with us. We'll talk to you during the off season, but we'll get back on track here.
Columbia coach. Congrats to Pitzloff there for winning the Coach of the Year.
Yeah. All right, Kevin, let's go back. Let's get back on track here. We're at 149. It's Valencia upsets Van Ness, McNeil 3rd, Lamer 4th out of nowhere. Guy 5th, Block 6th, Wazlewski 7th, Swiderski, and our boy Biskins, unfortunately, does not make the podium. Your thoughts here at 149?
first of all, congrats to Lamer, who was a two-time blood rounder. He finally got on the podium. Yeah, Biskins, they're extremely frustrated because he majored Valencia 14-5 this year. So you see a guy that you major win and then you don't make the podium. This was a really frustrating bracket. The way it worked out is for some reason, you had Joy and then Biskins and Guy all in this little quad, and only one of them could get to the podium, Guy beat Biskins and then Guy beat Joy. But really, you speak of disappointment. Joy, he beats Ryder Block 10-3, and then he's up 7-1 against Valencia, 7-1 entering the third.
I
And
remember talking about it.
yep. stuff went downhill, man, fast. And
you said he might have got hurt.
He'll be back. There's some stuff going on, yeah. Not at liberty to say, but
that's a certain
it's
change of tides.
yeah.
Valencia was losing 7-1 to Joy, goes on and wins a national championship. It was like a year or two ago. I was at an Olympic trials event, and I was sitting beside like Aiden Valencia and his mom, and I didn't really introduce myself or anything. I didn't want to annoy him, but who would have known? Fast forward to now, he's always champ, dude.
He's always had the talent, he was you go back to U15s, he was a world Greco and freestyle champion, and he's just always kind of been the next best thing though in every tournament. It's like he gets second. But this is a guy that beat Real Woods twice. And then he was a second away from beating him the third time. And then Real Woods ends up making the team and getting a bronze medal, right? And I respect the gas tank he's got on him, and he had a ton of losses this year. He was in the same bracket as Joy at CKLV, and Joy teched and pinned his way through it, and then Valencia got fourth in that bracket, right? I will say this, I got total faith in Joy. He'll be back next year and he'll be good to go. It was an experience for him. I'm sad that he didn't, that it ended the way it did, but stuff happens. Lachlan and McNeil, another guy, he didn't even place at CKLV, Zach. He was in that weight class, did not even place at CKLV. And then he goes and gets third. Cross Wazlewski, I'm going to say this.
Cactus was all over me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Cross Wazlewski, I'm not a fan of this dude, man. I'm just going to say it. He is a spaz, and he pisses people off. And did you see what happened with him and Swiderski? It was
I'm not shocked they got into it.
Well, it was completely Cross's issue, okay? Cross was doing, he does these spastic, he's like, you remember like wrestling the guy in gym class that doesn't know how to wrestle, and he's all like he's just like stiff, and like that's what he reminds me of, only he's obviously really good. He's an All-American, but he's just like stiff and spastic, right? He's got a little DeSanto in him, okay? So he kept screwing with Swiderski. So finally they go out of bounds. Swiderski takes his head and he just like rams it in the mat. Well, the match ends and they're out of bounds, and Wazlewski's got this mask on his face because of his nose, and he just starts screaming in Swiderski's face like, ah! And so then that pisses him off, and then he goes over to shake David Taylor's hand. He's all spastic at David Taylor. You can hear him. He goes, "Are you all right, man?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Wow. Well, hey, listen, I do want to mention, you heard Vega. Was it Vega who touched on Swiderski's leadership in his post-finals
that was really cool
presser?
Yeah.
And we're gonna rank. I want to do a quick show where we rank all the post-finals champion interviews. How about that? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun show.
Absolutely.
Levi up there. Buck's a buck. A buck is a buck, baby. I tell you right now. But yeah, it's got to be disappointing for Van Ness. Hard one to swallow for him. And yeah, we kind of touched on a lot of this, and we'll move on here.
And real quick, Zach, I'm glad they called that a takedown. It has nothing to do with me not liking Van Ness or something. But you know what? I would rather see that called a takedown than see it not called a takedown and then see someone win on tiebreakers. I would rather that's the route that we went. He had the toe at the end. Just, it's a takedown.
I agree. All right, 157's up on the screen. You see it. We kind of touched on, the bad call earlier. We all kind of agreed, but before we get into it, let's bring in Gopher Christian, because he's feeling good right now. He's got a champion. Christian, how you feeling, man? You got a champ, baby.
Max McAnally. Let's go.
That's right.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Good.
What are your thoughts on the tournament?
No, it was a good national tournament for the Gophers. I would have liked to see Von Bauer get on the podium again, but goes up against Composto in the blood round, and we know Composto doesn't leave without making the podium. So
I couldn't believe it.
I know he gets it done every time. It's pretty impressive. I'll give it to him. He shows up in March when it really matters, but it's okay. Sparks made the podium for the first time. His best finish before this was 1-2, and
Yes.
2 other times were 0-2. So really good. I mean, beat D to advance to the blood round, and then beat Will Denny. So wasn't an easy
Huge.
path, but he got it done. So yeah, and then Jory Volk. Jory Volk had it made to make it to the semis,
Yes.
man. He blew it.
Yeah, he was my
Blew
pick
it.
to make the finals, man. He was my pick to make the finals. I couldn't believe it.
I know. Lost to Moran, right? trying to remember. But
Yeah, I think he
no,
did.
yeah, Max
Yep.
winning the way he went out there and got that takedown right away. That was the same exact takedown he got on Carter Starachi in the Big Ten finals too.
Yep. You're
Same
100%
exact high
right.
crotch.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it
But
makes you
overall,
realize that he's
stress-free.
got that talent. What's that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and Carter picked him to win. I don't know if you guys saw Carter's picks.
Oh, yeah.
I saw he switched one back to Levi. I saw he didn't pick Levi at first, but then he did right before the tournament
Oh, he
started.
did
But
end up-
I didn't see the rest.
He wasn't happy
Yeah.
about Rocco coming in. He was like, he was like, Zach Ryder, I'm a Zach Ryder guy, and stuff like that he was saying.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but yeah, Max goes out there, gets that takedown right away, and I mean he was still engaging until like a minute to go, and then he was straight up track runner after that.
Yeah, dude. And I got nervous, man. I thought he was gonna get taken, like he tripped over his feet or something. I go, no.
I know.
You
I
know what I'm
saw
talking
that.
about, right? With like 4 seconds left,
Yeah.
I was like, no way. But
I was-
Rocco's a beast, man. He was going after him. But man, that's Max McAnally. If he shoots more, he has the most beautiful shots when he shoots. That takedown was beautiful.
I know it was so quick, and like I said, like that was like such a stress-free way to watch. Don't have to wait to the very end. He just goes out there and
Oh,
gets it
yeah.
right away, and then Rocco. I was surprised Rocco didn't try harder because he has good attacks when he gets to them, but he didn't really try till like the third period, really. So
It's the curse of the weight, man. The 4-1 SV weight class, we call it.
I know. Yeah, against Angelo, that was crazy. That
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I was so
a lot of
happy when
tough
I
guys.
saw Angelo try and roll under. When Angelo rolled under, I was like, we got it. It's a terrible way to get out.
Yeah, I really hope that these guys increase their attack rate for next year, the 184 pounders, because the talent there is just ridiculous.
Well, my question
And,
was going to be: is McAnally going to be at 184 next year?
Yeah, he had an interview today back at the U of M, and they asked him, and he said he'll be 184 again. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Good question, Zach.
All right.
Yeah. But, yeah, man,
Everything-
happy.
what do you-
The
what do you-
Gophers,
what-
they did
what's
good.
top of your radar right now going into the offseason, Christian, if you're a
I
Minnesota
want to see
fan?
us pick up a couple good guys in the portal. I want to get a good 33. We got Jory for, I think, 2 more years. And then we don't have anyone at 33 and 41. I'm pretty sure Von Bauer's done. I don't know if he has a medical that he could get, but I'm pretty sure he's done.
Kevin?
Um,
Von Bar
2
is a junior. He's a junior.
oh,
So
let's go.
He's
dude.
back. He's back next year. Yep.
Sick. Yeah. So
Okay.
then, 133. We picked up freaking Chris Cannon last year.
Oh, geez. Yeah. That's never. That's
No.
never a good thing. Then you guys gave him back. You're like, just take him back.
I know. I was like, just have him, and he didn't even go. We had a 149 pounder step up at the end of the season. He cut all the way down to 133. He was at 149 at the beginning of the season.
Oh my
So,
gosh,
Wow.
that's
yeah.
brutal.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we lose Sparks at 165. There's going to be a lot of turnover for us next year, so we'll see what happens. But I'd like to see Volk get higher on the podium. He definitely can. I don't know. I don't really know exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Well,
he's been 7th twice, so
he screwed me,
he'll do it.
Christian.
He'll
He screwed me in madness. I know that. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that. Volk screwed me.
I got
Let's
a
get your
bone to
ducks
pick.
in a row. Minnesota's, we got a lot to figure out here in the offseason. We'll touch base here in a couple weeks, Christian. Let's see, where Minnesota's at. But you got to be feeling good. You got McAnally there as a champ at one of the hardest weight classes. And apparently he's going to be staying there. So, Minnesota, Christian.
He better. He better.
Final thought? Any final thoughts here? Takeaways?
That I wish Robidoux would have kept his commitment with Minnesota.
yeah. Yeah, you and me are
man.
both got theft on that one, huh?
Yeah,
That's a good
definitely.
one.
And he transferred to Oklahoma State. So that also hurt. But
I think
whatever.
Rutledge too was Minnesota, I think, or maybe it was somewhere else. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, he
All
might
right.
have been. But I give dog of the tournament. I'm giving it to Robidoux. He had the hardest bracket. Who was his first match again?
Hard to argue that.
It was a tough match. His first one out.
I know he had Larkin in the quarters, I think.
He beat Millard.
Robidoux was
Larkin.
plus
He had
750.
Gavin Drexler. He had Gavin Drexler first round, who was an All-American.
Returning AA Drexler, Millard, Larkin,
Duke, and Taylor. Wow.
That is impressive.
That's incredible. That's a valid point. I didn't even look at it. Before the tournament started, Robidoux was plus 750 odds to win it all. Same odds as Caleb Larkin, who does an AA.
Wow. I come from
Think about that. Think about that. You could have made some money on that, but no, that's a great wow. We need to talk a little more about Landon Robidoux, but we also got to move on. Christian, I got to let you go. We're going to burn through a couple weight classes here. Then we got another.
I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you guys for the coverage all season. You guys are up there with the best for sure. Watch every single podcast. So thank you guys.
Hey, thank you
Thanks
for calling
so much,
in,
brother.
man.
Appreciate
we always
that, man.
appreciate your thoughts, your call-ins, and everything you have to offer. So there's Go for Christian. Go for Christian, man, coming out of Minnesota. Feeling kind of good. Thanks, all right. We'll talk to him again soon here, and let's burn through a couple weight classes here, Kevin.
Yeah.
We got another caller on the line, but 157, it was Robidoux. And can't say enough about Robidoux and what he did. We talked about the match with PJ Duke. He stayed in it, kept giving himself a chance. Then he goes out and kind of dominates Antrell Taylor, who wasn't happy about it after the fact in the finals. But Brandon Cannon fourth. Cannon Webster, I guaranteed you all season, folks, he was going to All-American, and he did. And I said he was going to beat Shapiro, and he did. Turns out it was in wrestlebacks, unfortunately. But I'm scheduled to talk to Cannon Webster this week, folks. So interview with Cannon Webster coming up this week. I'm happy for him. That was the guy I was rooting for, but he takes fifth. Ty Waters sixth. Ty Waters sixth. You could say that was surprising, or you could say it was not. But Catcherbone seventh. Shapiro does All-American there at eighth. Kevin, explain this. Shapiro. People were asking for that explanation from Shapiro from you.
I'm very hesitant to say anything, because it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't, Yeah, there's something going on, but I don't really. What can you say? Let me say this, okay? I'm to the point where I'm concerned about him wrestling. Period. I will say this and I will go to bat with him for this. For all the people that are saying that he is being a baby by not wrestling his 8th place match, I don't think you don't understand the amount of pain he's going through, and like just from how hard it was for him to win that Cardenas match to get on the podium. That's where he wanted to get on that podium because he's been on the podium the other 2 times. He wanted to at least get on the podium, and he killed himself to do it, right? But it's no excuse at this point because it's just this is the way he's going to be, it seems like, you know? And if they got to straighten out like medications and stuff like that, but it's just this is the way it's going to be from now on, you know? So he's uber talented. It's a shame. You know, that I don't think he should have even wrestled last year. You know, you go in a 3-day coma. You shouldn't even have been at the tournament last year. And it seems like to me like they know when to put him in, or they don't know when to put him in. They don't know when to keep him out, and they just do the opposite of what they should each time. The kid's got a lot of heart though, and he wrestled tough considering. And you know what? It's just a shame. I don't want to see the kid lose his health permanently, you know? So, that's it, man. He's fun to watch. And it's just, you can clearly see he's not the same guy. He's not doing the Meyer Shapiro things that make him Meyer Shapiro.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, and I'm sure as is the case with a lot of these wrestlers, there's a lot of things going on behind the scene. I don't think the question has ever been talent with Meyer Shapiro. However, if there is other stuff going on behind the scenes, injuries, anything else, I think you really do have to take a step back and then take into perspective what is the goal of this. And really the goal of wrestling, yes, you want to win a national championship. That is what the goal of wrestling is. But really, it's to make you a better person. And if wrestling is becoming, to Meyer Shapiro, you know, a point where, I don't know, maybe it's detrimenting the opportunity being a better person, or you know what I mean? Like, is he having fun? Is he not having fun anymore doing this? Like,
he loves the sport, but you got to realize that when you're not
at some point.
Think about this. This is a 2-time world champ that his true freshman year, he goes 29-3 and he gets third, right? He has 20 ranked wins his freshman year. If he's not able to perform up to his full potential, if he's not able to, you know, due to certain things, have the endurance that he's putting the time in, that's got to be extremely frustrating, you know, when you're not, you know, you could be better, but you're doing all the right things, but it just doesn't matter. You know, this is a kid that is a 2-time world champion. He also, though, Zach, is an honor student at Cornell. He's like an academic All-American, and he's going to be just fine as long as he doesn't kill himself health-wise, you know?
That's what I mean.
So I know a lot of people give him crap. To this day, I still have to hear about, oh, he's going to, you know, say that everyone was on steroids. For the last time, he wasn't talking about Kazak when he was talking about the steroids. He was talking about somebody that he beat at both the first 2 NCAAs. I'll let you guys go look that one up. But, you know, the fact that everybody thinks it was Kazak makes me wonder why they think it was Kazak, right? Like, you know, Kazak's not the only one that he lost to that tournament. But, you know,
Meyer's not the only one throwing out steroid accusations nowadays.
Oh, yeah, jeez. Oh, my gosh, I heard that one. You know, I wish him the best, man, and I hope that he gets stuff straightened out, because he's given me as a fan a lot to cheer about, and you know, I've loved watching him wrestle when he's healthy. And the thing is, Zach, is it doesn't seem to matter when he takes off and when he doesn't, because this year it seemed to be the same kind of things going on at the same exact time last year that it went on, you know?
I know, and that's what I don't like. The trend of, like, it's always like, and this is what I mean. Talent is not a question, but I'm sure he's equally as talented as in other areas of his life as well. And at what point does this wrestling become a hindrance into his ultimate path of happiness in life, where, like, yeah, dude, don't go out there and get 7 concussions and screw up the rest of your life trying to be a good wrestler. Like, if you learn, you know, at what point you gotta sunk cost fallacy. Cut your losses, even if you invested a lot.
And it comes back to, like, who are the adults in the room, you know, because his true freshman year at CKLV, If you guys want to go back and watch this, it's on Flow. Watch his match against Trevor Chumbley. Okay. He already had a concussion earlier in that tournament, CKLV. He goes out, they does a take duck under, beautiful. They roll out of bounds, he lands on his head. Big, concussion break. We showed a video on it. Then in the middle of the match, he goes like this and he's walking around confused. It was really bad. And I couldn't believe that he just wrestled the whole match. I mean, he was so dazed and confused. And that was just the start of it, and it's just, ugh. I mean, and there's people that have messaged me, oh, I bet you he wasn't in a coma. Dude, I got pictures of him at Strong Memorial Hospital with feeding tubes and stuff for 3 days. So he was in a coma, it's scary, man. So I hope, that's all I'll say is I just hope for the best for him, really.
Yeah. Hope for the best for Shapiro. Like I said, in life and in wrestling, and that's what it is. But what happened here, 157, Larry, who is a former official, according to the 2026 NCAA case manual, neutral cradle locked, an opponent hits their hip is a non-reaction time instant takedown. Refs missed it big time, but he said bug time. But big time. And that's coming from a ref. So the Duke call was incorrect. And really, would you pick Rabideau to beat Duke again? I would not. I wouldn't, but he did. And hats off to Rabideau. But in fact, I thought I saw another comment.
Cam Canterbone, man, what a performance for him to AA.
Hats off to him. And Michigan, Sean Bourmet out there, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Michigan's got a bunch of fun guys on their team, but wow, I just can't, Antrell Taylor, he just keeps winning that way, he just doesn't do a whole lot, and no, man, he's only a junior.
Oh,
he took
gosh.
he was at 165 his freshman year because there wasn't because what's his face was there at 157. And then he got an AA at 165, and then he, won nationals, and then he took second this year. He's got 1 year left.
Okay, listen, we're going long. We gotta do something.
I know. I'm sorry.
Rumor bell. Randy says, hate to say it, Meyer would get a bag, likely $1 million to go to Iowa. Oh my goodness! Let's start those Cornell transfer rumors, baby.
Now, let me ask you this, and a lot of people won't. Okay, one of the reasons that Cornell gets the talent they get is Rob Cole set this thing up. It's like a Rolodex where with the alumni, you go there, right? You get an Ivy League diploma, which is great. And then you're set up with a really good job. So that might outweigh, the $1 million in the long run.
Yeah.
But
well, listen, before we gotta move on. But I also have another episode in the works, recruiting rankings. I don't want to give too much, but because someone will steal it. Someone will steal it out there. A lot of my ideas get stolen nowadays, Kevin. Let's move on. 165, Messi Brink 1, Caliendo 2, Alvan 3, Ruiz 4, Sparks, Blaze, Hepner, Gallagher. We kind of touched on this a lot. Kevin, any other thoughts here? We got Sean, who's waiting in the green room. So
surprised to see Blaze slip down.
I know, Blaze. Yeah, that was disappointing.
And Hepner I don't see him at this weight next year. He looked really big to me. And I heard that he's probably going to go up to 74. Caliendo, great career, pleasure to watch. What a success story for a transfer. You want to talk about all the bad transfers. He was one of the real good ones. And I have a lot of respect for him. And I don't care that he didn't shake his hand. It's like, whatever,
I'm glad he did.
It is what it is.
Yeah. What is this?
And I just want to say, awesome job to Alvin and Columbia, man. Columbia, just what an awesome team, what a performance, and I'm real happy for them.
Bracket buster. Caesar Alvan busted my bracket there. We got off season to talk about it more, but 174 here. It was Levi, then Minto, Kennedy, Harchula, B instead of an H. Cam Steed, shout out Cam Steed, Danny Wask, both Montanona brothers. Shout out to the Montanona bros. Both of them All-Americans, baby. out of Michigan, and Gaitan there at number 8, Iowa State here. Kevin, no surprises here, other than Ruiz,
Simon
not
Ruiz.
All-American.
Only time he's ever lost to Danny. Only time he's ever lost to Danny Wask. He's never lost to him. And that because he lost to him, he had to wrestle Karchla in the blood round, right? Which I was really worried about that matchup with Karchla.
Yep.
But man, it's so weird. He was so up and down. He looked horrible against Wask, horrible. But then he goes back and he pins Sima and he beats someone 12-1. I can't remember who. And then he just does some very strange things in that Karchla match. I thought he should have rode him more. I don't know. It is what it is. That was a big disappointment. And I don't know what to say with that. But besides that, Steed is a beast. And Levi Haynes, the fact that he teched Patrick Kennedy is kind of mind-blowing. You know, you tech the guy that gets third.
Yeah.
And I think that Minto went into that match just hoping that he could somehow get to tiebreakers. And you know what bothers me is it was the same kind of match he wrestled the second time. I wish he would have wrestled like he did the first time, where he actually went out there, got a takedown. And I know that's easier said than done. Taking down Levi Haynes is like, who wants to do that, man? That's what Simon Ruiz tried to do last year with 10 seconds left, and it doesn't work. You know, his reattacks are just, but, you know, it's, Minto is super talented, athletic. I just wish that he would have went for it, you know?
Yeah, kind of the same deal at McGowan there at 125, but, you know, easier said than done, like you said. Good luck trying to get a takedown on Levi. Levi, at the end of the day, just gets it done. I was especially happy. I wanted to see Levi get his championship here on a Penn State team that sets a record points, with Levi being the only senior, especially being that he's an South Central PA, Adams County boy. That's where
his career record, Zach, ends at 100 wins and 4 losses.
Levi, I'm going to be reaching out to you for an interview. So
I mean, what 100 wins and 4 losses, and he's a senior silver world medalist of silver, and he's a U23 world champion, all by the age of 21. Not too shabby.
Yeah, and he's an old man in this, or no, he's a young man, I guess, in this sport.
Yeah,
he's
is
a
young.
man.
I just don't.
He's a young senior, folks, a true senior. You don't need no.
So his 4 losses,
no nothing.
His 4 losses are 4-2 to Hamidi, 4-1 to Keegan O'Toole when Keegan had the torn ligament, and 6-2 to Austin O'Connor, his freshman year in the finals. And his other loss, Vinny Zerbin in sudden victory, his freshman year.
Wow.
You didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, you didn't. Also didn't see Zerbin
congrats,
on
Levi.
the podium. But no, congrats, Levi, there, won at 74. Let's touch on 184 here. My goodness. Well, we already kind of did. Did the McAnally-Welsh final surprise you at all there, Kevin?
Not really. I did tell you about Campos, though.
Yes, you did.
From American.
Yes, you did.
And he's a stud, man. And could Zach Ryder, man, getting on the podium in that weight class with one arm.
Didn't have that picked.
Zach Ryder's a really good kid. I'm happy for him. And he went through a lot this past year, man. His world was turned upside down when Rocco was going to Penn State, man. That was not something that he even suspected. So, good kid, really funny kid. Happy to see him get on the podium.
All right, 197. I apologize if we're not doing due justice to these weight classes. We have all off season to expand, but Barr, Merrill, Little, Novak, McDaniel, Posada, Gabe Arnold. We talked about him. And Branson John, the Maryland kid, coming in there at 8 for All-American.
It was just this weekend that I learned that it's not John Branson and it's Branson John. This entire time I thought his name was John Branson.
Two first names.
I thought it was, man. I'm like, John Branson. People are probably like, what the hell? Why is he saying his last name first? But yeah, that's good for him, man. And Posada, man, that's a Stanford dude.
Stanford overperformed.
Cole left that team pretty for Ayers, but Ayers is also doing a wonderful job. And that team, Zach, is going to be nasty if they can keep everyone. I don't know what the deal is because you got to realize that some of these guys are going to graduate there and they might not be able to get into the graduate school at Stanford. It's Stanford, right? But when you're looking at their lineup going up and down, I mean, it's sick. I mean, you got Provo, Knox, Valencia, and then you got Cardenas, EJ Parco, Hunter Garvin, Angelo Posada. I mean, it's just like it's a sick freaking team they got going on there. So, and
Yeah,
just
hats off
think
to
they
them.
almost weren't a team.
They almost weren't a team. Now you could say
Yeah.
led by Aiden Valencia, the freshman out of there who true dog. Absolute true dog. But all right, 285 here at heavyweight. Here it was. Everybody thought Bastida, AJ, and it's all Bastida. And then everyone forgot about Trumbull, and Trumbull goes out there and very much humbles Bastida in the finals. Like, pretty dominant, right?
He reminded us all why he was in the Olympic trial finals.
Yes,
He is a strong dude, man. And what a mat wrestler. And Dresser said, Dresser went like this.
I know.
And Bastida went, and it's tough, man, because if it's me, dude, if there's any question in my mind that I might not be able to get out, is that how you want to end your career? With your face buried in the mat? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go neutral, but it's not that would have mattered, but I mean, I was pretty surprised how dominant he was in that match. And I kind of really wish I would have seen one of the 5 matches that we talked about that I wish I would have seen is a Gadiala, Younger match. Because I'm not sure who would have won that one.
Gadiali, I don't know. Yeah, no, I would have liked to see that. Ben Keeter, proud of Ben Keeter. Disappointed in AJ Ferrari not finishing out. Both Ferraris. I was just flat out disappointed. I can't say it any other way. I'm the biggest Angelo fan in the world. I'm sorry, man. You got to finish that. You got to go out there and wrestle Ferraris, dude. I don't care. Like, I don't know.
It could have been the difference of them getting a team trophy, too,
Could have been.
It could have been.
I hate to say it, but I got to be honest. Bosch is on the line. We're going to close out with Sean. Sean is on the dating hotline, but listen, Bosch called in. You got to give him. Some people get jumped front of the line. Man? Bosch, how you doing?
Listen, so I saw you guys were live. I'm out. I'm chilling by the pool out here. It's beautiful out. And I had to check on my guy, Cornell Kevin, because we talked about Cornell this morning. We did the good, the bad, the ugly. They only had one All-American, and I just have to make sure you're okay. I've been blessed that I was a Cal guy. When he moved to Penn State, I became a Penn State fan because of him. And this was before Penn State was good. And I became a Penn State fan at the luckiest time on earth. So I haven't experienced it, Kevin. I just want to make sure you're okay. One All-American, despite that lineup at NCAA. And I love Cornell. I love what Gray's doing there. Yanni's my guy. Grew up in Hilton, right down the road from me.
Yep.
Are you okay? Yep. That's what I'm
no.
calling in to ask.
Do I look okay to you? No. I'll tell you why I'm not okay. It's not even that. It's that I'm looking outside my window where your other place is, and it's snowing out right now, and I see you by a pool. So that's another reason I'm not okay.
We were supposed to be out there this week, and I said, no, I'm all set with that.
Oh, man. I took my 3-year-old out, and he goes, "What is this?" I go, "That's hail, Liam, and then the hail will turn into snow soon, and this is just where we live, buddy."
Yeah.
No, man. Let me ask you this. Like Zach said, it seems like some of the Penn State fans weren't like real satisfied. Were you satisfied with their performance?
Bosch?
Yes, because Josh Barr is my number one guy. I love Josh Barr like I love anything. So to see Josh win that title, and if you know Josh personally, and he's just truly, I know a lot of wrestlers, and I can probably say Josh Barr is one of the best, one of the salt of the earth. I made my wife wait to put the kids to bed until Josh's match because that match meant more than anything to me. So I'm swayed in the sense that Barr winning meant the world to me. Apart from that, it's weird. It's like you talk to these Penn State guys and they're gutted for Marcus. They're gutted for PJ. They're gutted for Rocco. Rocco came that close again in the NCAA finals. You look at PJ and, PJ's very mature and he said, it's on me.
Yeah.
I need to get to my offense and nothing to do with officiating. And you look at some of these things and it's like, it's hard. Cal feels for these guys. He said they're like having additional children. They're like having a son. So it's tough. Like, as a Penn State fan, when they're this good and there's that expectation of winning, it's hard when there's no real team race. It's hard when there's no, like, what's the bar of expectation where you're truly satisfied? 10 champs?
Right.
Like, you break the scoring record 3 years in a row. That's incredible. You have 4 national champs. Incredible. Like, what they did, 8 All-Americans with 8 in the top 4. It's stupid. It's bananas. You have to be happy. But it's definitely, I think, if I had to guess, some of the Penn State fans that are not maybe as satisfied, it's because if you look at when Penn State fans are the most satisfied, it's years like the Ohio State team race, when Ohio State was all the rage and Flo's following them around in the arena and doing a documentary. And you have this Bo and Miles and what happens with Kyle Connell and Colin Moore. And it's like you have those things, and that leads to more. When the expectation is such dominance, it's hard to be satisfied in that. So I understand why some of these fans,
when you do it against a team like that Ohio State team.
I'm looking forward to Oklahoma State making something of it, because that when there's a team race, that even for people like me that, my team's not going to be in there, it's still fun just to see that, it makes everything that more 100%. Interesting. So I'm kind of,
100%. I think like there's a kind of an unrealistic bar for Penn State fans where, when you're expected to win and the bar is so high, it's hard to some of them get into it because again, what's your expectation? And if you have a team race, the expectation is if you win, you meet it. For Penn State, it's like, how many champions? How many this? So I feel like some of the Penn State fans are a bit spoiled because they've had so much success. But,
let me make this case. Let me make this case, Bosch. Like, maybe if I'm a Penn State fan, I got a little pit in my stomach because I know in the back of my head, this could have been the last year to set the all-time number.
Sure.
Because we also leave this tournament and look behind your shoulder. Oklahoma State got 3 freshman champs and 4 All-American. They're right there. And maybe that pit in your stomach now, the end is coming soon, don't you?
50 points behind those, Zach.
But it's coming.
Yeah, not so I think, honestly, Penn State fans would almost like it to be a little bit more competitive to where right now if Penn State wins, what's an Oklahoma State fan going to say? Okay, you won by 50, you're expected to win by 60. I feel like if it's more of a team race or if we get more Penn State, Oklahoma State head-to-head, then I feel like maybe. But, I mean, even I mentioned on the show this morning, like Penn State scored double the bonus points Oklahoma State did. Oklahoma State had 3 champs and an incredible year. Still, Penn State scored 40.5 points. Oklahoma State only scored 20.5. So I feel like if you start getting some of those stats where what if Oklahoma State scores 45 bonus points and Penn State only scores 38? And you start to see that, then it's more over the shoulder versus 50 points is hard to say somebody's over your shoulder. That's like running a mile with a head start of a half mile and be like, well, somebody's over your shoulder. Well, yeah, but you got to stand still for 6 minutes for them to catch you.
Well,
I think
or
that,
just 2 years, or just 2 recruiting classes.
I think that you'll see a lot of these Oklahoma State guys start to get more bonus, like at least, Vega, maybe Rabidou. I don't think though, I don't see their 197 pounder ever being like a bonus machine by any fact, but I see them. They'll get into the swing of things, I think. I mean, what they did was just unbelievable, though. I never thought we'd see a time where we'd see, 3 true freshman champions. Just never thought I'd see it.
It's that fact
but
that
I
would
think
scare me if I was Penn State.
the more you have this, like, don't forget, this is really David's like first recruiting class. Now his second next year. They're only going to get better and better. They're only going to have,
Yeah.
you talk about somebody like in the room. Well, don't forget that, maybe you don't expect Cam McDaniel. Maybe you don't expect Cody Merrill to have more bonus, but like, well, what happens when Michael White gets in the room and Drayshawn Ross gets in the room and he has more and more training partners?
Yeah.
You're going to go from a senior vet like Connor to, again, the freshmen are all the rage. And now you got Drayshawn Ross coming in the room from to train with. You got guys. So even somebody like Cody Merrill, I'll tell you what, after Cody had this year of not having, the best offense, he's a defensive juggernaut. If all of a sudden you start getting these guys and a Cody Merrill knows he's got to get to his offense, you might start seeing that bonus out of the guys. You might start seeing Sergio Vega open up even more because he's got that confidence. He beat the two-time NCAA champ. He hasn't given up a takedown. So, I suspect we'll have more and more offense moving forward.
Where's Ono going to wrestle next year? Sorry, Kevin.
That's a good question.
What?
No,
I'm
that's a
just
good
hitting
question.
them with bangers that are hit. People, Ono in the comments. Where's Ono? What weight class is he going next year? Is he going next year?
I think he goes next year. If I had to guess, I'd say 33. I mean, would it blow your mind? Not to steal a Willie line, but would it blow your mind if Marcus Blaze redshirts a year, and if Blaze redshirts a year, pulls a Zane? That's what Zane did. Remember? So Zane redshirted afterwards. So if you have Ono
beast when he came back.
Yeah. Imagine Blaze redshirts for a year. Listen, I see any of these guys who had a quote-unquote underperforming year, Blaze, D. Lockett, if any of these guys redshirt for a year and just train for a year, you know what monsters they'll be? So assume Ono slides in at 33 and Blaze redshirts, and now Ono's done after a year and Blaze slides back in. Juggernauts.
You know what else I think with Penn State is I don't see them necessarily redshirting PJ Duke. I know that Mitchell is light for the weight. I know that he's not, he doesn't have any issues making 65, but he's probably, he's good enough where he could probably win 74 and put PJ in at 65. I just wonder if Kazak is going to keep getting bigger too, though.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, PJ Duke, I think he's more likely to go 74 next year than 65. I don't know that Mesenbrig's so perfectly sized. If you told me that Duke jumped 2 weights and pulled a Levi Haynes, did the exact same thing, jumped 2 weights, was just as dominant, didn't have to worry about the weight cut, like that wouldn't surprise me. So,
well, Mesenbrink actually would be able to wear the exact same singlet if he bumped up a weight class that he does now. I don't know if you noticed. He wears a 174-pound singlet at that 165. It's a little baggy, isn't it? It's always a little baggy singlet. I don't know why that bothers me.
It's like that leg pull down move.
That's what Jackson. All the freshmen do that. That's like PJ Duke. I mean, I'm a big PJ Duke fan. I watched him since he was like in 7th grade, and I was really impressed by his interview afterwards, where it could have been easy for a young kid to just get real bitter about what happened, but you'll never hear him say that. He's just like, he's one of the nastiest wrestlers on the mat, but he's just such a nice kid off the mat.
100%. And that's a common theme with these Penn State guys. If you watch their post-match interviews at large, it's a lot of well thought out, a lot of Willie called it introverted responses of just this, like, really thinking and really giving analytical kind of responses versus just the typical, a lot of wrestling as a whole. You got really good responses, but these Penn State guys, their perspective is usually, for the most part, pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like they plan on it. They have a lot of time to think about, what am I going to say? A lot of champions in that room. You know what I mean? They're all probably practicing
100%.
those speeches.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, to answer your question you first called, I'm really concerned about Cornell. I think that their RTC has gone down to, and now with Yanni possibly retiring and Vito's moving up a weight, which could be a good thing, but he's still a 61 kilogram guy. And then just having the 2 seeds, not AA, it was the most disappointing thing since I can remember in wrestling. I was literally I just couldn't believe it.
Let me give you a little encouragement on what I think, why you should be optimistic. Yanni retiring could be the best thing for Cornell, because when guys transition more into coaching, you see a switch from selfish to selfless. It's what happened with David Taylor at Oklahoma State. David Taylor is one of the most selfish people in wrestling because he had to be that great. You have to dial in, lock in, worry about yourself, and that's what matters. And when you're competing at that level, you have to. When you're coaching, it becomes a selfless thing. So if you're a Cornell wrestler, why would you not want Yanni to retire? Why would you not want Yanni to think more about you and less about himself, which is what's naturally going to happen? Yanni is still that damn good. He's still going to be able to go with anybody in the room, and from a competition standpoint, whoop their butt just like Kale does with the Penn State guys. So I think if Yanni's transitioning to coaching full-time, that's a massive asset to Cornell, because now instead of, let's call it 70-30 of Yanni's attention being on himself, now it's 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, his attention being on the Cornell wrestlers. So I think that's a massive benefit versus
Bosh, dude.
Anything negative that he
truth bomb, baby. Oh my goodness, that is the greatest point I've heard in a long, long time. And you know what it reminds me of? Parenting. How your life changes when you become a parent. You live your life for yourself, and then you become a parent, and how your life changes when you live your life for your kids.
That's very true.
That's exactly
Zach.
What you're basically saying.
And you know what? We've actually seen a lot of that already. Like with the gray shirts, man. He's done a lot with those gray shirts, and you can even see, even like the past 2 years. So I just hope that we can keep him in Cornell for a while.
I think Yanni knows that unless it was a dream head coach job, he ain't leaving. And I don't know who has a dream head coach job open right now that he would take in. So I think as long as it's as long as it's an assistant role on the table, I think Yanni knows at Cornell it's the best place for him. I think maybe if he was tempted with a head coach job, but nobody really has the head coach job right now that I think would make Yanni leave Ithaca. I don't.
Yeah, he's pretty very loyal to Cornell. And plus it just fits. It fits for him. Yeah, that's true.
There. His relationship with Gray, if he was leaving, it's a situation where it's like Gray's telling him, "Hey, that's a great opportunity. You should go take it." And I don't think an assistant role is going to be that lucrative or that inviting to him.
Yeah,
Larry, Illinois throws out Illinois in the comments. That's not. I don't know. We got to talk about Illinois.
Illinois got their guy. They got their guy. They promoted.
Yeah. He's a really good coach. He's a really good coach. Yeah. I think people will see.
That's the dream scenario. I mean, that's literally the equivalent in my mind of Gray taking over Cornell. You promote the guy internally from within who's been at the program, who the wrestlers love and respect, and Illinois is all set. They're not going to do anything.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Bosh, we got to let you go. We got to move on. We're running long.
I appreciate you checking on me, though, man.
I had to hop in and check. I know you're going through it, so I just wanted to check. So you guys have a great night. I just wanted to check in with you.
Hey, we appreciate
thanks for calling.
You guys
enjoy the weather,
man. You guys crushed it during the championships. I don't know how you guys went live. Now I know how you went live.
Get out of here.
Sitting outside a pool down there in Florida.
Take it easy.
No wonder. All right, folks. Now we're going to bring in one final caller here to close out the show. It's our Ohio State guy. Sean, I apologize, man. You've been hanging on a long, long time. Had time to brush that hair, I see, baby. How you feeling, Buckeyes?
I'm doing all right, considering. I mean, the action, the city, Cleveland this weekend was phenomenal.
Did you go? Were you there?
I was there. The arena leaves a little to be desired, I would say, but the city was great and the action was excellent.
Okay, you were there.
So,
Let me ask, how was like the real life experience in Cleveland at the NCAA championships?
I mean, it was. I don't know. I mean, you guys have both been right to the NCAAs before.
Not in
Yeah.
Cleveland. Not in Cleveland, no.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the arena experience, I think, is mostly kind of the same everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're actually watching it, there's that electricity, there's the rhythm to the tournament. Starts off kind of dry and then picks up a little bit. The heat picks up a little bit. Friday night's insane. Saturday morning's like a little bit of a lull, but it's kind of uncomfortable. There's lots of great wrestling going on, but the stakes aren't quite as high. And then, it's a bit of a circus on Saturday night. I mean, there's not an empty seat anywhere, and yeah,
J Stock
there's
says
a
some
lot
decent
there.
bars around there. I was looking for Larry says there's a guy with girlfriends under his basement. No, you don't, Sean. Come on, you got it,
Larry.
we know you were going on dates, dude, picking up chicks, but
Yeah,
I was really
That's
thinking
right.
like the seat, the parking, and like what would if I drove from Pennsylvania to Cleveland to go watch this. So that's what I was kind of asking. Like, is it easy to park, get in, get out, good food? What's vending like there?
I couldn't tell you what the parking was like because I wasn't driving there. I had a hotel about 20 minutes outside the city, and I just ride shared every day. That was pretty easy.
You were hitting a
easy.
mini bar, right? You were hitting the mini bar in the hotel.
I was not staying at a place fancy enough to have a mini bar,
Oh.
but I hit plenty of the
Big
I hit
bars,
plenty of the actual bars in the city. No
Oh, that's
question.
good.
as I'm sure
There you go.
plenty of
Yeah.
wrestling folk did. But man, was there anything you had to be a little bit disappointed, Ohio State fan, right? Like Tom
What
Ryan,
is-
you're
what
in your
was-
own state, dude. You show up, don't show out.
Who are you
Yeah, it was-
most happy with, and who are you most disappointed with for Ohio State?
Okay, most happy for was Patty. No question about it. That guy's been through a lot. He's not been a fan favorite because he came in with, probably a little too much hype. He was, a
Yeah.
top 5 overall
Yeah.
recruit in that class. Probably a little overranked for what he was. And, I have not been kind to him, honestly, myself. So, but he's a warrior. Brought through a lot. Last year, where
Would you send him a mean message or something, dude? You're like, dude, come on, Patty.
No. I mean, not to him personally, but I have maybe made my
Just been
opinion
critical.
of him.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Not, I've been not shy about it, and I'll be honest. I was one of the people saying we should probably go with Ethan Burden in the postseason here,
And Patty,
I'm
went
so
proved
happy
wrong.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure did. So that was great. Obviously, Britt Cannon coming in 4th in the toughest weight on one leg. I mean,
Yep,
what can you say
157.
about the guy? Dogged it. I mean, when he wasn't facing PJ Duke, he looked like an absolute animal this weekend. When he was, yeah, not so much. I don't know what the matchup problem is there, but PJ Duke's amazing, but I don't think the gap between them is as wide as when they two wrestle each other. Like, yeah, I mean,
PJ tends to from what I've seen, like all his matches in the past like 8 years, and sometimes he tightens up a little bit. You'll see when he like lets it go. That's what we saw the first few rounds of NCAA's, man. He was letting it go, man. He was letting it rip. But then sometimes he thinks a little bit too much, right? Like, for instance, when he wrestled Yanni the first time, he was thinking a lot, and Yanni whooped him. But then after that, he was like, nothing to lose, and we just saw him go crazy. And if he could do that consistently, watch out,
yeah, I mean, like his combination of strength and explosiveness is just, it's like impossible to stop. I mean, he looks like a man at, as an 18-year-old at 157. I mean, he looks more physically mature than everybody he takes him out with. And I don't know,
Yeah.
Cannon maybe needs to work on some like baseline defensive things. That's maybe some one issue I have, but there's something there that his matches with PJ are just non-competitive.
Yeah,
at all,
it's crazy. It's like for him to tech him, man. I know he was out and stuff, but man, yeah, it's a bad matchup. It really is. You're right.
Sean, Nick Feldman.
Yeah, and okay, I have to believe there was something wrong there.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It just there was a rumor going out on Friday that he wasn't even going to take the mat, that he was just going to med forfeit out of the tournament. And I mean, I never thought I'd see him lose to Juan Mora. He needed
one more time.
Yeah. Yeah. He needed a last second takedown.
Kevin, don't sing again on the show, dude.
One more time.
Yeah, that one killed me, Sean. I had Feldman in the fantasy, and for him not the All-American.
The one I was most disappointed in, and the one I think that has frustrated Buckeye fans the most this season was Dylan Fishback. I mean, the whole season he was having competitive matches, legitimately competitive matches with the best guys in the weight class. And those were the only guys he was having close matches with. You're like, okay, he is in that next, in that likely All-American range.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I don't know what, the Big Ten tournament was terrible. And then this one was worse. He hangs on, to beat a fringe guy in the first round, and then just gets completely dominated by a Mantanona and then Cartagena Walsh, whatever you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was just a truly disappointing performance, and I don't know what happened to him down the stretch. I don't know if he's doing too many TikToks, or if he's more focused on his YouTube series. With his wife.
He's got a YouTube series. It's all downhill.
Yeah,
from there.
He and his wife have one of those special lifetime couple. Trying to be influencers.
Like the bird, like the Lucas bird. By the way, I don't know if I saved it or not, but someone did a parody on X of when Daniel Cormier called Lucas Bird winning his national championship match, and they were pretending to be all the announcers, and Cormier's like, "Look how tall his girlfriend is," and the
I remember that.
I'm like, dude, like. And then Corey's like, she's a TikTok star. I got to find it, man, so I can give those dudes a shout out. One of the funniest things I've seen, dude, in wrestling in a long time. But, all right, Sean, we're going long, dude. We're way long. We're freaking almost 2.5 hours. Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
I appreciate you calling in, man. Let me give you a chance for final thoughts. People are agreeing with you on the Fishback. But final thoughts here, and we'll close out the show.
I don't know. Final thoughts. Few final thoughts on. I just want to close my thoughts on the Jesse Mendez Sergio Vega thing.
Yes, please.
I'll focus on that matchup. Scared me to death because I have seen Jesse lose 3 times to Bo Bartlett. He lost to Cole Matthews. If guys are just like super elite at defending, specifically defending like when they get in on the legs, not just like baseline defense, but guys that have really squirrely hips or are outrageously flexible like that. All they need to do is snake one against you. Yeah. All they need to do. I mean, if you can't score on them, they can steal a match. And Sergio Vega was amazing. I think he's going to be a phenom, multiple-time champion. But he stole that match. And I'm not saying he should have been called for stalling more. I don't think he should have. I think he legitimately won it. But Jesse was the better wrestler in that match, and I would favor him again if they wrestled again. I think it's a little unfortunate they didn't see each other earlier because I think getting a feel for that feel in those positions, Jesse's super high wrestling IQ, super high wrestling IQ. I think he could maybe work through some of those positions where he almost had the takedown better, but it is what it is. It broke my heart. I mean, I it was a little bit emotional. I wish that wasn't the first match because it kind of tainted my enjoyment of the rest of the finals. I mean, and that's stupid. That's selfish. But he's an all-time great.
Reality.
He's
that's reality, Sean. Kevin felt it. My dad felt it. You felt it. Every wrestling fan out there felt it. Lockett felt it. You saw it on his face. That's what this sport is about, man. It's gut-wrenching, man. That's why it actually does make you a better person, man, because you learn how to deal with those emotions and those losses. But, Sean, we're going to close this out.
Awesome.
Appreciate you calling in, man. We'll talk to you again
Sean.
here soon. Big Lou Sassy Man with a comment of the show. Landon Robaduke. That's the nickname. Touche.
You like that one, huh?
Touche. Is that the right word? Touche, or is that
No,
not
man.
Right? Oh, I'm regressing.
Just stick to kudos.
I'm regressing. All right, folks.
I thought we were over that, man.
Yeah, I thought we were too. But all right, we'll be back. This BG Wrestling. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin, and everyone who called in.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Fun show tonight. We'll talk to you again soon. See ya.
Adios, muchachos.